shootout between Muskingum and Capital alongside Jimmy Bloomfield. I'm Charlie Danis. Let's now take a closer look at Capital now. Jimmy, we talked about at the top of the pregame show about how there were a lot of good things, but also a lot of bad things in the 38-21 season opener loss to Mount St. Joseph. Let's have the glass half full type of attitude when examining Capital. I thought the offense looked explosive, and I thought Thomas Wibbler looked pretty solid. Yes, he did have 3 interceptions, but considering that he was coming back from a leg injury, I thought he looked pretty good out there.
Yeah, and he took some hits too. I believe Coach said before that game that he hadn't even got hit yet at practice, so that was good to see him stay in the pocket, especially in that touchdown pass to Stanford, the 50-yarder. He got hit right after he threw that. He stood in, delivered a really good ball, and he was fine. I think he could have got some help from his receivers as well. But overall, the completion percentage, we want to see that go up. But given that it was his first game back from a pretty serious leg injury, it was probably a good step forward for him.
Corey Heater, 8 catches for 86 yards, also carried the ball 16 times for 85 yards. So if my math's correct here, 171 total yards of offense. Let's just hope that he can keep on being healthy, Jimmy, because he could be a real asset for Capital here in 2017.
Yeah, a lot of those yards in the passing game did come in the fourth quarter when they were kind of just trying to come back. But if they can maybe work some of those more into the offense, I think there was a lot of success there, setting up maybe some screens for him or something of that nature, something a little bit different from a change of pace of just banging it between the tackles, which he did a great job of as well. He was really the best player for Capital on the offensive side of the ball last game. Is pretty hard to debate that, and I think he's going to be a big key here tonight. He had a big game against Muskingum last year.
The receiving core could be a heck of a group this year, Jimmy, in 2017. We already talked about Corey Heater getting the ball out of the backfield. I thought Dar Stanford looked good. I think David Barnett, assuming that it doesn't rain all that much like it did in the season opener against Mount St. Joseph, I think he's going to have an easier time catching the football. But then we saw Eddie Preciado with a receiving touchdown. We saw Connor McLeod with a receiving touchdown. There are weapons all over the field for Capital.
Yeah, they're very deep. They have a lot of different options that they can call to. We've seen Nick Iskey play some tight end, and I believe he even caught a pass. And we might see him get a little bit involved as well. Trey Reese has been a big play machine last season, had a lot of big catches for them in terms of length of yardage. So that's another thing that to look out for. There's just a lot of different options that they have. Obviously, Stanford and Barnett are going to be the 2 big ones. We didn't even see a whole lot of Nick Waters now that I think about it as well. So we've named off about 7 or 8 guys to look out for, and that's always nice to have that many options that you can turn to.
Let's now switch the attention over to the defense. I thought the defense also had some nice moments, Jimmy, stopping the run, but man, they did themselves in with all those penalties, especially in the middle of the third quarter where Mount St. Joseph was finally able to take control of the game.
Yeah, a lot of penalties. We saw a lot of very good tackling. Derek Ebon is actually the leading tackler in the fourth in the OAC, and Murray is actually first in the OAC in terms of tackles per game. Obviously, that's a 1-game sample, but the 2 of them combined at 25 tackles. That's really good to see from your linebacking core. We already talked about the pass rush doing a great job. And I think the secondary held their own as well, too. They were, in that third quarter, in the second half especially, really short field that they had to deal with. So a lot of points obviously resulted from just field position in general, and that's obviously something that is on all sides of the ball, not just the defense. And they did give up 38 points. But I felt it was a really good game for them. One of the better games that we've seen them play. If they can just put together all those good pieces and stick with that for a good 60 minutes instead of maybe 45, keep the penalties down today as well, we could see a really dominant performance from them today.
Well, and they're going to really need to do that, Jimmy, because they're taking on a Muskingum squad that can score points in bunches. Muskingum coming off of a 41-27 loss at the hands of Otterbein last week. This was a game that Muskingum was down by as much as 27. In fact, that was the score, 27-0 in favor of Otterbein at the end of the first half. Muskingum is able to rip off 27 points in the second half, but considering that Brody Hahn, their quarterback, is a freshman, he has played well so far for the Muskies.
This is something we're not used to seeing out of Muskingum as well. Going back to 2012, the most points they've scored in a game is per game in a season is 18.1 back in 2015. And they're already at 23 points per game against a pretty good team in Otterbein as one of those 2 games this season. Hahn has added a whole new level to this offense, and it's usually an offense that prefers to run the football versus passing the football. Going back to even 2014, they ran the ball for 201 yards per game when throwing it for only 82 yards per game. It's a very different offense now with Hahn back there, 260 yards per game passing in their first 2 games this season. And by the way, they're running for 146 as well.
We'll take a quick timeout. More of the Crusaders pregame show in just a moment.
Your hats and everyone to place their right hand over their heart at the first note of our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner.
A lovely rendition of the national anthem performed by the marching band from Johnstown High School. And boy, oh boy, the Big Red, they bring it every time they take to the field. All right, getting back to our conversation about Muskingum tonight, Jimmy. We talked about their freshman quarterback, Brody Hahn. It's interesting, looking at the stats, getting ready for this game, when I was looking at all the stuff, they got a lot of weapons, and they got a lot of explosive weapons at that.
Yeah, Brody Hahn, he's the start of the conversation. This is one of the better freshman quarterbacks that we've seen in the OAC over the past few years. A guy out of Louisville, he's a big player to watch, dual threat guy, and with the problems that they had defensively last week with the dual threat quarterback from Mount St. Joe's, could be a very similar situation tonight if they don't address that situation through practice. I'm sure it was a big focus for the defense. In terms of the weapons, the biggest weapon I've seen quite literally is Granger Long, their tight end. He's actually leads the team in receptions with 10 already in 2 games. He is a big physical target right down the seams of the field, and that's not something that we're used to seeing. Usually it's those quick wideouts, not even so many big wideouts around the OAC. It's usually that quick speed guys. This guy is a huge target right in the middle of the field, and young quarterbacks, the tight end, that's a cliche, but he really does like throwing to this guy. Keep an eye out for number 11, Granger Long, but there's also some pretty good receivers on the outside to complement him.
And speaking of receivers, one guy that I'm sure will play a big part in this game for Muskingum, Damon Jones, only has 6 catches on the season, but he is averaging a whopping 25.8 yards per reception, already has 155 total receiving yards on the year, so that's another explosive receiving target that Muskingum will employ here at Bernlohr Stadium tonight. We are moments away from the opening kickoff between the Muskies and the Crusaders. Again, another night game set to take place here at Bernlohr Stadium. We'll take another quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have the opening kickoff and Capital football here on the Capital Sports Network.
Capital won the toss, and they defer to the second half. So your Crusaders will kick off to the Muskies here. Nighttime football, Bernlohr Stadium. Let's go, Crusaders!
Should be a very enjoyable night here at Bernlohr Stadium. It has been unseasonably warm the past couple of days here in Central Ohio, but hey, compared to the weather that we had in the season opener against Mount St. Joseph, I think it's fair to say, Jimmy, that we will gladly take this weather.
Yeah, definitely. And even the last few weeks, it's been kind of chilly since we've had that game a couple weeks back on Saturday. Obviously, we won't be dealing with any kind of rain or anything like that today. The field conditions are perfect. And this is really no excuse anymore. It's going to be a good football weather and a good game tonight.
Capital takes the field. We are almost set for action here at Bernlohr Stadium. This will be the third straight season in which Capital has played a night game here at Bernlohr. The first matchup was against Wilmington. The second matchup was against Muskingum last year. And so far, Jimmy, Capital a perfect 2-0 in these night games. And they're going up against a Muskingum squad that they have beaten in back-to-back years and in 3 of the last 4 years. So I think if you're the Crusaders, you got to be feeling pretty good about your chances here tonight.
Definitely. Obviously, this is one of those games that you want to get in the OAC. These are the ones that you got to get against Muskingum for one thing, but here at home, you've got to protect your home field, especially in this conference. It is a tough conference. It's your night game. You're 2-0. The atmosphere tonight is going to be crazy. It is packed. Everyone, it's standing room only. Honestly, I think the whole bleachers are filled up, so it's going to be pretty loud here tonight as well, especially once the lights have full effect. They are on, but obviously still some daylight in the area, and it'll be interesting to see. This is a different Muskingum team than we've seen in the past few years with that freshman quarterback Hahn back there. It's going to be a fun matchup tonight, Charlie.
Blake Middleton will kick things away for Capital. Points to his right, points to his left. We're all set and ready to go. Kick us away. We're underway at Bernlohr Stadium. The ball will be taken at the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25. And being spilled at around the 22-yard line is Ashton Walker, sophomore wide receiver for the Muskies. So now the Muskingum offense comes onto the field. As we talked about, Brody Hahn is the starting quarterback. At running back is Bernard Johnson. The wide receivers are Joey Scott and Damon Jones. The tight end is Granger Long. The left tackle, Quentin Watts. Left guard, Brandon Scott. Center, Brandon Cox. Right guard, Adam Witter. And the right tackle, Christian Eckerman. 1st and 10. Muskies at their own 27-yard line. Hahn is in the shotgun. 2 receivers at each side of the field. Johnson, the tailback. Hahn will go back to pass. Looking, still looking, scrambling to his left. Nobody's open, and he has no choice but to throw the football away. Excellent coverage downfield by the Capital defense.
It's a flag there near where the quarterback Hahn went down. Might be a late hit.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, number 92 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Corey Mays whistled for that personal foul, and that was a real bugaboo for Capital in their season opening loss to Mount St. Joseph. Capital defense looks like this. Defensive end Justin Scott. The defensive tackles are Drew Seelig and James Zamore. Corey Mays is the other defensive end. The star linebacker Kane Murray, Derek Ebon, and Sean Fascione are the other linebackers. The cornerbacks are Jordan Duncan and LaShawn Sanders. The free safety is Eric Strofsky, and the strong safety is Austin White.
And Bobby Walker coming in to replace Mays after the penalty now on the defensive front.
1st and 10. Muskingum at their own 42-yard line. Hahn once again on the shotgun. The give is to his tailback Johnson, and Johnson with a good pickup on the play as he takes it to about midfield.
And going back to that first play, we saw right off the bat Hahn was trying to get that ball to the tight end Long. He was triple teamed by the Capital linebacking crew, and that's why you kept seeing him pump 3 times trying to get that ball to him. Smart decision to not obviously force a pass in there, and unfortunately the penalty really helps him out there.
2nd down and 3, Muskingum at their own 49-yard line. Hahn once again in the shotgun with 2 wideouts to his left and 1 to his right. Hahn back to pass. He will throw, and that play is going to go nowhere as he was able to complete it to Darius Hayes Caruth. But getting back there is Jordan Duncan. Duncan read that play beautifully for Capital.
We've seen the secondary make big plays here, especially in the takeaway department. But obviously it's nice to see them make some plays tackling in the backfield even. Nice play to stop Caruth there.
3rd and 3. Oh, actually 3rd and 6, excuse me.
Interesting note on Hayes Carruth. He had 14 catches last season. 6 of them came against Capital for 71 yards. It was his biggest game last season.
3rd and 6. Muskingum at their own 46-yard line. Hahn in the shotgun. A receiver to his left, 3 to his right. And now penalty flags after the ball is snapped. Looks like this will be a false start against Muskingum.
False start, number 77 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Number 77, that would be Christian Eckerman, the right tackle, junior out of Alliance, Ohio.
Every false start penalty is obviously pretty big, but this one turns a third and manageable 3rd and 6 into a 3rd and 11 now. Definitely a passing down.
So it'll be 3rd and 11. Muskingum at their own 41-yard line. Hahn once again on the shotgun. Johnson is tailback, a receiver to the far side, 3 to the near side.
Long is in the slot there, being guarded by a linebacker right now.
Hahn takes the snap. He'll drop back to pass. Now he'll run forward, and Hans is going to be spun down around midfield. Finally taken down on the play by Michael Laffo. Eric Strosky also tripping him up at the last moment, and now Muskingum will have to punt the football away.
I mean, I think that's a good call on a 3rd and 6. I don't know about 3rd and 11, though, and I thought they might have been thinking about going for it and just trying to get some yardage back to midfield. Obviously, they're going to go punt here, and that's the smart call.
Jordan Duncan out to receive for Capital. Jarrett Patton out to punt the football away for Muskingum, and now Capital will be taking a timeout. That'll be their first time out of the half. Maybe they didn't have enough people on the field, Jimmy?
I'm trying to count right now. If they had 12, that might have been what happened. I didn't get a quick count enough. We don't have that benefit of tapping on the players and it counts as for us like they do on the on NBC or something like that. But they might have had 12 on the field there, and that might have been why they called the timeout, obviously to avoid that 5-yard penalty.
12:35 remaining in the first quarter. Still no score between Muskingum and Capital. Gorgeous night for football here in Bexley. Sold-out crowd here at Bernlohr Stadium as we will be playing under the lights this evening.
Yeah, they definitely had 12 because they had 12 in that huddle at that timeout. One came back to the sideline, so that was the reason for the timeout.
Jarrett Patton getting set to punt the football away from Muskingum. Jordan Duncan getting set to receive the ball for Capital. Clean snap. Patton able to handle it cleanly. Gets it away. Duncan will fair catch it at the 19-yard line, and that is where Capital will start offensively. Capital offense looks like this. At quarterback will be Thomas Wibbler. The running back is Corey Heater. The H-back, Hunter Smith. The wide receivers, Nick Waters and David Barnett. Tight end, Trey Reese. Left tackle, Zach Kennedy. Left guard, Coulter Thompson. Center, Logan Hernan. Right guard, Zach Clapper. Right tackle, Edward Lehman.
Again, those are all upperclassmen with the exception of Barnett. Very veteran group.
1st and 10. They will spot the ball at Capital's 20-yard line. Wibbler in the shotgun, joined by Heater. A receiver to his left, 2 to his right. Wibbler will hand to Heater. Heater with a little running room as he takes it across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Pick up a 6 on the play.
Yeah, he had more than a little bit of running room there. Good job by the line to create that hole. And basically a halfback blast out of the shotgun. One nice cut by Heater to get upfield there inside the right guard who was blowing his man off the football. Great job by Clapper leading the rush there.
2nd down and 4. Capital at their own 26-yard line. Wibbler will give to Heater once again. And Heater will spin, or try to spin forward, I should say, as they will spot it at the 29-yard line. That will be a pickup of 3. Muskingum's defense looks like this. The defensive ends are Tim Owsley and Chris Weck. The defensive tackles are Stacy Wilson and Giannis Daly. The linebackers are Mick Fischel, Drew Lowry, Brandon Schoen. The safeties are Brian Brown and Clevon Birch. And the cornerbacks are Nehemiah Bowie and Caleb Gators. 3rd and 1. Capital at their own 29-yard line. Heater, joined by Hunter Smith in the backfield. High snap, but they hand it to Heater. Did Heater get enough for the first down? I think they're going to give him a favorable spot. He needed to get to the 30, and it looks like that's where they're going to spot the ball. We'll have to hold on here. And the signal is 1st down. So Corey Heater got just enough as he was able to rush up the middle for a Crusader 1st down.
A different package of personnel there as they brought in 2 extra tight ends, one of them being Nick Iskey there to help lead that block. Now we see Dar Stanford check in for the first time. He's at the high side of the screen with Waters in the slot.
First and 10, Capital at their own 30-yard line. Wibbler once again on the shotgun with Heater on his left hip. Wibbler takes a snap, drops back to pass. Bubble screen, Barnett, as he will bulldoze his way across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. Pickup of 6 on the play. First catch of the evening for David Barnett, who had 4 catches in the season opening loss to Mount St. Joseph. But a lot of drops for Barnett. It was wet, pouring rain here in Bexley when Capital opened the season.
Barnett last year, 56 catches, 877 yards, of course, 10 touchdowns. And good to see them get him involved early with a simple, basic pass that he's going to get some positive yards on, get some confidence going.
Second and 4, Capital at their own 36-yard line. Heater bounces away from tacklers to the 35, to the 40. And talk about making something out of nothing. Corey Heater, instead of going right, he went left. And that will be a decent pickup of 4 on the play and enough for another Crusaders first down.
Just feels like a lot better flow offensively already today. And Heater's running like he did in that second half, which is a really good sign early.
First and 10, Capital now at their own 41-yard line, approaching 10 minutes to play in the first quarter. Still no score between Capital and Muskingum. Wibbler, crowded backfield as he'll put Hunter Smith in motion. Wibbler will now hand. And it will be a carry, but nowhere to go for Antoine. No, let's see here. Jake Pasula. So that was a running play that didn't really go anywhere. Actually, I take that back. I think that was Antoine Ship on the carry.
Yeah, I think so as well. The confusion being that it was a defensive back listed on the roster, but we didn't see him play any running back as well last week. I do believe that was Antoine Ship, though.
Shares a number with Ennis Galal, a kicker for the Crusaders. Loss of 4 on that last play. Second and 14, play action. Wibbler over the middle, and it is incomplete as he was trying to hit his intended target, Hunter Smith. So now a 3rd and long situation upcoming here for Capital.
That's the right area of the field for Hunter Smith. He loves running that kind of wheel route towards the seam or towards the sideline. Either way, he's a pretty good weapon out of the backfield. They try to get it to him early.
Smith checks out. Trey Reese, the tight end that used to be a defensive lineman a couple years ago for Capital, checks in.
Barnett's got man coverage on the bottom here.
3rd and 14, Capital at their own 36-yard line. Wibbler in the shotgun with Heater on his right hip. Wibbler will drop back to pass. Looking, throwing, and it was almost complete as Nick Waters was open but wasn't able to secure the catch, and now Capital will have to punt the football away.
Still a pretty good sequence, I think, there. We saw 2 first downs picked up. We saw Barnett get involved in the passing game. The running game's looking pretty good early. Sometimes it just doesn't turn into a 12-play drive like you hope. And you really need to get a good punt here and play that field position. We talked about how that was an issue for them in that 3rd quarter, especially against Mount St. Joe's.
Avery Wirt will punt the football away for Capital. Back to receive Darius Hayes Caruth.
Good one.
High arcing kick, backing it out to the 25. And taking the punt is Darius Hayes Caruth, but Caruth had nowhere to go that time. Coming down to make the tackle, special teams-wise, was LaShawn Sanders Jr.
Great job there. Good punt, and they gave him time as well. The block punt and even the shank was really not on the punter at all. He did not have time to operate, and it led to some issues, and it's good to see them get a clean one away. It was a really good punt as well, and the coverage was great. Nowhere for Hayes Caruth to go as soon as he caught that.
8:56 to go in the first quarter. We still have no score between Muskingum and Capital. Sold-out house here at Bernlohr Stadium. First and 10 now for Muskingum from their own 30-yard line. And it will be a quarterback keeper as Hahn, showing some nice wheels, taking it to the 38-yard line. Pickup of 8 on that play for Brody Hahn. Hahn, a freshman from Louisville, Kentucky. 6'2", 215-pound freshman.
He's definitely an intimidating force back there.
2nd and 2 now. Muskingum at their own 38-yard line. Hahn in the shotgun. 3 wide outs on the field. And the give is to the tailback. No, Hahn kept it. And Hahn is going to be stopped about a yard short. Making the tackle on the play was LaShawn Sanders Jr.
Yeah, great job by Sanders to keep him short of the first down sticks. An even better read on that by Hahn. That was tucked in the breadbasket of the running back Johnson, and he pulled it right out because Johnson ran into 2 purple jerseys as soon as he touched the football. Even better play, though, by Sanders, I think, to keep him short. We'll see what Muskingum elects to do. Remember, they had a 3rd and 11, and they went into a quarterback draw mode, so they could pretty much call anything here.
3rd and 1, Muskingum at their own 39. Got to get it to the 40 to convert this first down, or this 3rd down, I should say. A receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Hahn, quick throw outside, and it will be enough for a first down as running his way through traffic was Darius Hayes Caruth, the junior, out of Cincinnati. First down for Muskingum, taking it out to the 45.
Hayes Caruth, 14 carries this season, and 14 carries last season, 24 through the air. They've liked getting him the ball last season at least, and obviously he's part of the game plan again today.
1st and 10, Muskingum at their own 45. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Hahn in the shotgun, Johnson his tailback, and now it's a jet sweep to the far side. Out across the 50 to the 45-yard line. The ball carrier, Damon Jones, senior from Pomeroy, Ohio. Another decent pickup on a first down play for Muskingum.
That's his first carry of the season.
Gain of 9 on that last play, so it'll be 2nd and 1. Muskingum into Capital territory. They're at the Crusaders' 46-yard line, 6:45 and counting. In our first quarter of action, Muskingum and Capital, no score here at Bernlohr Stadium. Hahn in the shotgun, receiver to each side of the field. Johnson is his tailback. The give is to Johnson, and Johnson will pick up just enough for the first down as he takes it across the 45 to the 44-yard line. Needed 1, got 2. First down, Muskies.
Johnson, obviously the main bell cow running back for them, 108 yards per game this season. He did play in 9 games for Muskingum, but was mostly a special teamer. Was obviously on the roster, but didn't get a carry and has won this starting running back job, so obviously a great summer for him.
1st and 10, Muskingum at Capital's 39-yard line. Hahn will set up in the shotgun. 2 wideouts to his right, 1 to his left. Johnson, his tailback on his left hip in a pistol-like formation. Hahn with a play action. Now it's going to be thrown, and a man out there, and it's complete. Touchdown, Muskingum. A beautiful halfback pass. Johnson able to hook up with his teammate Damon Jones, and the Muskies get on the board first.
That's a play they've ran this season. Johnson is 0 for 1 throwing the football this season, and that run play was going absolutely nowhere. Johnson just puts one out in front of Jones in a spot where only Jones could catch the football. And honestly, it didn't look like he was going to run to it enough, and it was actually just a perfect throw. Landed right where he needed it to be, and obviously a great play there from Muskingum. Going a little bit of trickeration for the lead.
Austin Alice in on the point after. It is good. Quick timeout, 6:04 remaining in the first quarter. Muskingum 7, Capital nothing. This is Crusaders football here on the Capital Sports Network.
And in the fieldhouse during today's game, we thank you in your advance for your cooperation.
Back here at Bernlohr Stadium, 6:04 remained in the first quarter. Muskingum moments ago getting on the board first. A Bernard Johnson touchdown pass complete to Damon Jones for 54 yards. Muskingum 7, Capital nothing. 6:04 remaining in the first quarter. Alongside Jimmy Bloomfield, I'm Charlie Danis. So pleased that you could join us for this presentation of Crusaders football here on the Capital Sports Network. Lovely evening here in Bexley. And boy, Jimmy, the crowd is still buzzing from that little trickeration play by Muskingum as the Muskies kick it away. It's a short kick. Waters will take it at the 25 to the 30 to the 35, and he'll be tripped up around the 40-yard line, and that is where Capital will start offensively.
Good play there. Obviously a short kick, and Waters just kind of went right up the middle. But going back to that halfback pass, they had the option kind of snuffed out there, and that was a nice play call, honestly, because it really did. The secondary did come up as a result of that run, but they had been running the ball for couple of plays prior to that as well. You see him come in and just put one out in front of Jones, and Jones really showed some acceleration getting to that football at the end of that run. And a big 46-yard touchdown is the result to Damon Jones, who you mentioned was the wide receiver to look out for today.
Average 25.2 yards per reception. He's a big playmaker, I can tell you that. 1st and 10, Capital at their own 39-yard line. Play fake, complete to Barnett. Wibbler completing the pass to the 45-yard line, so that'll be a pickup of 6 on the play. Capital trailing Muskingum 7-0 with just under 5.5 to play here in the first quarter. So now, Jimmy, for Capital, they just need to get something going here offensively. So far, so good, but they need to get traction and get into Muskie territory.
The Heaters already got 4 yards a touch right now, and that's great to get out of your running back, and a nice pickup there on 1st down. They're putting themselves in some manageable 2nd and 3rd and short situations.
2nd and 4, they hand to Heater. Heater to midfield to the 45-40, to the 35, and he'll be tackled at the 32-yard line. Making the stop on the play for Muskingum is Nehemiah Bowie. Otherwise, that could have been a long gain or perhaps a touchdown for Corey Heater. 1st down, Crusaders.
Definitely need to keep getting him the football, Charlie. He's shown this season he's their guy right now.
Ball will be spotted at the Muskie 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Crusaders.
2 tight ends set to the right of Heater.
Wibbler in a pistol-like formation with Heater right behind him, his tailback. Play fake. Wibbler looking downfield. Throws, and it will be incomplete as he was trying to find Corey Heater out of the backfield. And, Jimmy, I saw you motioning that maybe that might have been a lot of contact there.
It looks like Heater kind of got held up there. I don't know if it would be more – I would lean more towards holding than pass interference, but he was definitely impeded trying to get to that football.
He was tangled up with Clavon Birch for a little bit. After the incomplete pass, that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Capital at the Muskie 31-yard line. Wibbler with 4 wideouts. Play action. Wibbler has to run for his life, and he's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage for a sack. Knifing his way in there is Tim Ousley, the sophomore defensive end from MacArthur, Ohio.
One of the few times this season Wibbler's been under duress like that. And with the play action before, he did not have any time to get away from that.
Loss of 7 on that play, so now it's 3rd and 17. Capital backed up.
I mean, it's almost 4-down territory at this point where you're at. Obviously, you're not going to go for it on 4th and 17, but if you can get 10 or so here, I can see them going for it on 4th down.
3rd and 17, Capital at the Muskie 38-yard line. 2 receivers to each side of the field. Wibbler back to pass. Throws over the middle. Caught! To the 16-yard line. Making the catch on the play was Eddie Preciado, and that'll be enough for a Crusader 1st down. Nice read by Wibbler.
Yeah, we'll just go for the 1st down here on 3rd down, and that was a nice play by Preciado. He ran a very similar route that he did on the play action. He was open on the play action. I wonder if he mentioned something to Wibbler in the huddle there, or maybe even the coaching staff saw it. But he ran a very similar route and was open again, and here he is on the bottom of the screen once more.
1st and 10, Capital at their own 18-yard line. Wibbler will give to Heater. Heater to the 15, and Heater to about the 12-yard line or so. So the good night continues for Corey Heater, as that will be a pickup of 6 on the play.
He's got 46 on the ground already.
And we are not even done with the first quarter. That bodes very well for Capital offensively. 2nd down and 3, Capital now at Muskingum's 12-yard line. As the Crusaders will now break the huddle.
I mean, you still got Preciado out here kind of on an island.
Wibbler in the shotgun. Give to the tailback. Around the corner, 15, 10, busting his way inside the 5-yard line was Antoine Ship, sophomore for the Crusaders.
Yeah, obviously he must have had a good week in practice or something, because not even listed on the 2-deep at this point, and more listed as a defensive player. He's making a nice impact there on that run.
Ship, sophomore out of Carroll City, Florida. So now it's 1st and goal. Capital at Muskingum's 6-yard line. Under 2.5 to play, Muskingum 7, Capital nothing, but the Crusaders are knocking on the door. And now time has been called by Capital. We'll step aside as well. 2:25 remain in the first quarter. Muskingum 7, Capital nothing, here on your home for Crusaders football, the Capital Sports Network. 2:25 remaining in the first quarter. Muskingum 7, Capital nothing, but the Crusaders knocking on the door. They have a first and goal from the Muskie 6-yard line. Wibbler will be in the pistol formation. Heater the tailback. Hunter Smith the H-back. Wibbler will give to Heater. Heater dashing his way towards the goal line, but he will be stacked up at the 2-yard line. Making the tackle on the play for Muskingum, Mick Fischel, senior linebacker out of Dover.
I think he gave him 2 more shots here to finish this drive, which he had the big 24-yard run to get him down on this side of the field. I don't think he's going to even need 2 tries, Charlie.
First and goal. Ball spotted at the Muskie 2-yard line, under 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Capital nothing as the sun continues to dip below the horizon, and pretty soon they'll have to turn the lights on here at Bernlohr Stadium. Wibbler fakes a jet sweep up the middle, waiting for a signal, and they will spot it at the 1-yard line as they handed it to Corey Heater. And now 3rd and goal from the 1. I'd say still give it to Heater the way he's been going.
I like the wrinkle there of having the wide receiver Preciado kind of come across the field there.
Just to give them a different look, perhaps get a guy out of the box.
Absolutely.
3rd and goal now from the 1-yard line of Muskingum. Wibbler, throw, and it is caught into the end zone. Touchdown for Capital. Nick Iskey with a receiving touchdown. That is a fine use of a backup quarterback if I ever saw one.
Yeah, not bad. We've been waiting to see him make an impact like this in the passing game. I'm not surprised at all that they go there. And he was wide open.
So 7-6 in favor of Muskingum with the extra point pending. Coming out to attempt the extra point is Blake Middleton. Middleton, a freshman out of Miamisburg, Ohio. Right-footed kicker. Snap back, hold down, kick is on the way. It is up and through the uprights, good. Minute 12 remaining in the first quarter. Muskingum 7, Capital 7. We will step aside for just a moment and return very shortly here to Bernlohr Stadium. Back here at Bernlohr Stadium, a minute 12 remaining in the first quarter, and so far we have had a very competitive game. Muskingum 7, Capital likewise. Capital moments ago getting into the end zone. A 1-yard touchdown reception by Nick Iskey, the backup quarterback, but we have seen him move around on the Capital offense, Jimmy.
Yeah, he's been really good at run blocking as well. And I guess when they have some depth at quarterback with Connor McLeod as well, you can use Nick Iskey in different ways.
Ball to the 20, to the 25 on the ensuing kickoff. The returner for Muskingum, Clavon Birch, defensive back out of Akron. So decent field position here for Muskingum. And so far, the scoring looks like this. Bernard Johnson with a 46-yard touchdown pass. The running back, I might say, to wide receiver Damon Jones. That got Muskingum on the board with 6:04 remaining in the quarter. And again, Nick Iskey scoring from 1 yard out on a touchdown reception from Thomas Wibbler. 1st and 10. Muskingum at their own 30-yard line. Hahn is in the shotgun. He will hand to Johnson, and Johnson's got a lot of running room to the 40, 45, and tripped up at the very last moment as he will dive across the 50-yard line. Thank goodness for that shoestring tackle by Austin White. Otherwise, Johnson would have been gone.
Barely got him, too, and he just barely stumbled to the ground. Johnson has looked really good in the backfield for Muskingum already, and obviously not a too bad of a quarterback himself with the long touchdown pass out of the backfield.
1st and 10, Muskingum now at their own 49-yard line. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Hahn in the shotgun, and once again, his tailback is Johnson. Hahn will now go back to pass. Looking, still looking, throwing into double coverage, and that will be out of bounds. Double covered was Darius Hayes-Caruth as Eric Strosky along with Kane Murray, was in the vicinity for Capital.
And we've seen Hayes Carruth involved quite a bit already. His 2 catches today make him the team leader in receptions now for them in Game 3. And the timing was off on that route. He came across. He was the one that was jet sweeping across the formation there, and he almost got hit with the snap, it looked like, because he kind of hesitated as he started his route. And maybe that's why he was a step or two off. The ball was obviously overthrown. Probably a ball that should not have been thrown as well by Hahn into double coverage that you mentioned, Charlie.
2nd down and 10. Muskingum still at their own 49-yard line after the incomplete pass. Hahn will take the snap, and he will hand to his H-back, who will take it across the 50-yard line. The H-back for Muskingum, that would be Brett Rosen. Actually, he's listed as a fullback from Powhatan Point, Ohio.
He had absolutely nowhere to go as well. None of the options on the triple option were a good one there, so they just take what they can get a little fullback blast for a few yards and call the day.
And that will be the last play of our first quarter. At the end of 1, Capital 7, Muskingum likewise. We will be back for second quarter action here at Bernlohr Stadium in just a moment. You are listening to Crusaders football here on the Capital Sports Network.
In German Village. Greenhouse on Route 33 in Canal Winchester. Jersey Mike's right here in Bexley. And Donato's Pizza. Now the Johnstown Marching Band.
Festive atmosphere here at Bernlohr Stadium as we begin action here in the second quarter. Muskingum and Capital tied at 7. Hahn is in the shotgun for the Muskies. The quarterback, he will go back to pass. He will survey the field, scrambling to his right. Breaks out of a tackle. Across the 40 to the 35, to the 30, to the 25. And he will slide down at around the 21-yard line. I don't know why he slid that time. I think a couple more yards could have been had by Hahn if he really tried.
He kind of got hit there by Scott in the backfield in the secondary there for Capital. And I don't think it was enough to bring him down, but maybe just didn't want to take another big hit on top. Good play though, and again, the containment just not there for Capital. They had a lot of pressure on Hahn. He was running for his life. Looked like he could have been wrapped up around midfield. He broke that one tackle, and that was it.
1st and 10, Muskingum at Capital's 23-yard line after the big run by Hahn. And now they give us to Johnson. And Johnson will try to fight his way to the 20-yard line, does so, as he will be taken down on the play by Sean Fascione, the senior linebacker for the Crusaders.
This is one of the best linebacking groups that they've had between Murray and Ebon and Fascione right there. That's a pretty good group of 3.
Yeah, a couple of guys that we've known for quite some time here at Capital. Used to be in years past that you'd have a hard time trying to find a junior or a senior on either side of the ball for Capital, but not the case this year. Coach Chad Rogaszewski really leaning on his veterans here in 2017. 2nd and 7, Muskingum at Capital's 20-yard line. Flare out, complete to Johnson to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, and he will lower his shoulder at around the 7-yard line, as that will be a pickup of about 13 or so.
Just unmarked, it looked like, out of the backfield there.
Johnson taking advantage of a lot of space, and boy, Johnson's been very impressive at the tailback position for Muskingum.
He now has over 10 yards a touch, 3 carries for 29 yards, and then the 13-yard pickup there.
So it'll be 1st and goal. Muskingum at Capital's 7-yard line.
And he has the 46-yard touchdown, too, I guess we should mention. So.
Oh, yes, that's right. Not only can he run, but he can also throw. Hahn in the shotgun. 2 wideouts to his left, 1 to the right. Puts him in motion. And the give is to Johnson, and Johnson will barrel his way in for a Muskingum score. Muskingum 13, Capital 7, and boy, Johnson made that look easy.
This is a much different Muskingum team, like I said, Charlie, that we're used to seeing. They have some offensive firepower for the first time in better part of 5 or 6 years, and the it's balanced as well. I mean, they can run it, they can throw it, and we've seen that on 2 drives now. And again, they're averaging 146 a game on the ground, 260 through the air. They can put up some offense.
High snap, but Austin Alice is still able to knock it through for Muskingum. 13:27 remaining in the second quarter. Muskingum 14, Capital 7. While we have a moment, big news coming out of Capital recently. The recent inductees into the Capital Athletics Hall of Fame. Always really special when they honor fine folks who gave their time here to Capital back during their school days. Tom McCurdy, 1979 graduate for football, was part of the class. James Mayer from 1996 for baseball. Pam Briggs, former volleyball coach, was inducted, as well as former volleyball player Nikki Workman, who was a 2004 graduate here at Capital. We congratulate Nikki Workman, Pam Briggs, James Mayer, and Tom McCurdy for being inducted into the Capital Athletics Hall of Fame. All 4 of those fine individuals will be here in a couple of weeks during homecoming. A lot of festivities, a lot of events around campus during that day. Can't wait for that. And the big rivalry game, of course, against the Cardinals. Waters will take the kickoff at the 15 to the 20 to the 25, and he will spin his way across the 30 to about the 31-yard line or so. Decent field position for the Capital offense here upcoming.
Well, they had a big response to the last touchdown, so we'll see if they can do the same. Corey Heater, a big part of that drive. He already has 51 yards on the ground. Wibbler 4 for 7, 33 yards, and the touchdown to Iskey.
Capital donning the all-purple look, purple jerseys, purple pants, white numbers, the white helmet with the purple stripe going down the middle, and the warrior in the middle of the C on the side of the helmets. Muskingum, meanwhile, black helmets, white jerseys, black pants, black sleeves as well. 1st and 10. Capital at their own 31-yard line. Wibbler will give to Evan Butler, and Butler will be stacked up at about the 31-yard line, and a penalty flag now has been thrown at the 30. We'll have to check the penalty here.
Holding number 75 of the offense.
The penalty going against Edward Lehman, senior offensive lineman for Capital. That's one thing that Capital needs to stay away from, Jimmy, especially when you're trying to come back from a deficit. These penalties tend to make things a little harder.
They threw that almost instantly, too. I thought it might have been an offsides with how fast the flag was thrown. It's the right tackle there, guilty party.
1st and 20. Capital now backed up to their own 21-yard line. Wibbler in the shotgun. He'll go back to throw. It is complete to the 25, to the 30, to about the 26-yard line. Oh, boy, man, taking a big lick for Capital was Hunter Smith. The senior showing some toughness here as he was belted out of bounds. Combining on the tackle for Muskingum was Brandon Schoen and Drew Lowry.
And the penalty actually kind of helps him here because would have been 2nd and 10. Now you have a 2nd and 8.
Much more manageable.
We see Butler in there, and that goes back to the pregame interview that you talked about. They want to keep Heater healthy this whole season. He hasn't finished the season the last 2 years.
2nd down and 7. Capital at their own 34. Wibbler rolling to his left. Throwing, and it's incomplete. He was trying to complete it to Barnett, but Barnett fell down while running his route, which led to the incompletion going to the near side of the field. In the vicinity coverage-wise for Muskingum was Nehemiah Bowie.
And we've seen that play as well, that rollout, moving pocket kind of throw, and Butler did a great job picking up one of the 2 free men that came through on that. Webbler obviously under duress as he made that throw. Barnett's a tall guy, but just too tall for him.
3rd and 7. Capital at their own 34. 12:26 remain in the second quarter. Muskingum 14, Capital 7. Wibbler with 3 wideouts to his left. Butler is still his tailback. Wibbler back to pass. He'll throw over the middle. It's complete to the 45, to the 50. Waters into Muskingum territory as he takes it to the Muskies' 45-yard line. 1st down, Crusaders.
It's going to be his biggest catch of the year, obviously, as Waters had just 1 catch for 6 yards last week. He was a big part of this offense last year. 29 catches, 380 yards, averaging 47 receiving yards a game and 13 yards a catch. He's a real playmaker for him, and it's good to see them get him involved.
1st and 10, Capital at the Muskie 45-yard line. They give us to Butler. Butler's got some room to the 40, to the 35, to the 30, to the 25, to the 20, and he'll be ridden out of bounds at around the 16-yard line. Evan Butler And the sophomore out of Dayton busting out a big run that time for another big Crusader first down.
As a freshman, 66 carries, 248 yards, averaging just shy 4 yards a carry. That is his longest career run. He had a long of 19 last season.
So 1st and 10, the Capital offense cooking here as they have taken it down to the Muskie 18-yard line. Wibbler in the shotgun. Capital trailing Muskingum 14-7 here, under 11.5 to play. The give is to Butler, and Butler will wiggle his way for about a 2-yard gain or so as he takes it to about the 18-yard line. No, actually the 16-yard line, excuse me.
I do need to correct myself. He actually had a 25-yard run in the opener, but obviously that 27-yarder still as longest of his career. But 2 big plays already for him this season, and his long of last year was 19. And as a change of pace guy, you don't usually expect a big run like that from Butler, but the hole was there, and he did a great job of getting him down here in the red zone.
Only a 1-yard gain on that last play. 2nd and 9. Capital at the Muskie 17-yard line. Wibbler back to throw. He will throw, and he was trying to hit Butler coming out of the backfield, but the pass was a little too high. In on the coverage for Muskingum was Brandon Schoen. So now a 3rd down and 9 upcoming here at the 17-yard line. Okay, Jimmy, put your coaching hat on. What should the call be right here?
I wish I was as good as Tony Rome was this. I don't know if you guys have seen that, by the way, but he basically predicted that entire game from the booth.
I heard about that.
But, I mean, you got Barnett here in the slot with a linebacker on him. That might be your matchup to go for. Stanford also isolated on the bottom of the formation.
Wibbler back to throw, looking, throwing, and it's caught into the end zone for a Capital touchdown. Wibbler was able to find Dar Stanford over the middle, and now Capital is an extra point away from tying this game once again.
Yeah, I got one. It was a good, nice route there by Stanford. He took a step towards the outside of the field like he was going to run a fade and then quickly cut inside. It was definitely slow developing. He kind of got one of those pick rub routes as well that freed him up a little bit, and Wibbler able to find him in a pretty tight window.
Snap back, hold down, and the extra point for Capital is good as Middleton knocks it through. 14 all between Capital and Muskingum with 10:39 left to play in the second quarter. Quick timeout. We will be right back to Bernlohr Stadium in just a moment. .39 left to play in our second quarter at Bernlohr Stadium. Capital and Muskingum knotted at 14. Moments ago, a 17-yard touchdown pass from Thomas Wibbler to Dar Stanford. The Zanesville boys hooking up here.
Back-to-back weeks.
Yep. And also former teammates at Ohio Dominican as well. Chemistry. You can never overstate it. Kickoff taken at the 5, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25. And spinning his way forward for Muskingum will be Clavon Birch. Penalty flag thrown in there late. So it looks like we'll have to check the penalty here.
Dylan Schoonover and John Eaton make the stop for Capital.
And they're still talking it over here. With where it was thrown where the man was tackled. So, I mean, face mask would be the most obvious guess. Looks like they're calling holding.
Yep. Well, hold on a minute.
Holding. Number 88, the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Holding penalty will go against, looks like Terry Geiger. So that'll back things up for Muskingum to their own 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Muskies. 10:34 remaining in the second quarter. Capital and Muskingum tied at 14. As darkness continues to descend upon Bernlohr Stadium, a beautiful night, standing room only, a sellout crowd. Having night games here at Bernlohr Stadium, good idea. Hahn in the shotgun. Hahn will give to Johnson. Johnson with a lot of running room to the 20, to the 25, and he'll bust his way to about the 29-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about 15 on the play for Johnson, who just continues to bust out these big runs for the Muskies.
He's ripping off 10 yards a touch right now. It's obviously a first down if you give him the ball. They're right back to where they were before the holding penalty.
So 1st and 10 now, Muskingum, I should say, at their own 29-yard line.
It's already 90 on the ground, by the way, from Muskingum. They got 43 from Hahn and 36 from Johnson on just 8 carries.
Boy, we might be in for an offensive shootout the way both these teams have been playing so far. Hahn with 4 wideouts, and he will fake it to Johnson, and Hahn will keep it, and Hahn will be dragged down around the 35-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, this has been just a seesaw game to this point. Each team went scoreless on their first possession, and then obviously touchdown, 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 touchdown. So we're waiting for that big first play from one of these defenses that can really swing this game. For right now, it's just an offensive show, like you said.
2nd and 3. Muskingum at their own 36 as we tick under 9.5 to play in our first half. Muskingum and Capital tied at 14. Hahn in the shotgun. He will give to Hahn, and Hahn will stumble his way to the 39-yard line. Gain of 3 for Johnson.
First down.
So a fresh set of downs for the Muskies. Muskies coming off of a loss to Otterbein last week. Looking to improve their record to 2-1 on the season. Capital still looking for their first win of the 2017 campaign after falling to Mount St. Joseph in week 1.
Again, this kind of feels like another season opener with your conference obviously starting play. They have 9 conference games and just 1 non-conference game. It's really about the conference schedule that makes the difference.
Hahn back to throw in this 1st and 10, and he overshot his receiver. Running down the seam was Darius Hayes-Caruth, but a little bit too much mustard on that throw for the quarterback Hahn.
They love throwing at this guy, though. Hayes-Caruth has been involved very early, very often. And again, he was the leading receiver for Muskingum in the game against the Crusaders last year.
2nd and 10. Muskingum still at their own 39-yard line following the incomplete pass. And Muskingum, boy, all of a sudden has slowed down the tempo a little bit here on offense.
Yeah, definitely. They have been throwing the ball now. I would wonder if they go back to the run here because it's been going pretty well for them.
Hahn in the pistol. He'll put Johnson in motion. And now he'll swing it out to Johnson. Johnson, 35, 40, 45, out to midfield, and now a flag is going to be thrown. I think they are going to get Granger Long, the tight end, for a block in the back.
Yeah, we'll see what the call is officially, but just based on the reaction from the players on the field.
Holding on the offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty.
Holding penalty on Long.
That'll back them up quite a bit. Usually that's a spot foul, though, so only about 5 yards beyond where they started that play because the block was 5 yards upfield, but still it hurts. Would have had close to a first down, if not a first down, and now you're back to 2nd and 14.
2nd and 14, Muskingum back to their 35-yard line. Under 8.5 to play in our first half. Capital and Muskingum tied at 14. Hahn in the shotgun. Receiver to his left, 2 to his right. Johnson the tailback. It's a jet sweep behind the line of scrimmage. And another flag is going to be thrown as being tackled behind the line of scrimmage will be Damon Jones, who scored on a touchdown pass earlier in this game.
It looked like he was getting ready to throw it, too. Obviously, he didn't.
It looks like Capital's going to decline the penalty.
And again, why would you, I guess, because we'll get the call first.
Number 8 of the offense. That penalty will be declined. 3rd down.
I mean, you could back them up 10 yards and set up a 2nd and 24, but at this point, it's 3rd and 14. Trust your defense to get the stop, and pretty good decision, obviously, to decline that.
Terry Geiger, by the way, with the penalty.
It is a conversation, though, that some coaches might accept that penalty and just continue to back them up, play some field position. But Coach Rogo's thinking here is, I've got my defense. They can stop them from getting 14 yards. We're going to get the ball back. Not too worried about field position right now.
3rd and 14, Muskingum at their own 35-yard line. 3 wide receiver set. Hahn back to pass. Looking, scrambling to his left. Now he's running, and he is going to be tackled at the 45-yard line. Getting his hands on Hahn first was Justin Scott, 6'1" junior for the Crusaders. And that will not be enough for Muskingum first down. So now the Muskies will punt, and the Crusaders presumably will have an opportunity to take their first lead of the ball game here. Preciado back to return the punt for Capital. Jarrett Patton punting it away for the Muskies.
Cap looks like they're going for it too.
A lot of bodies up there in the line of scrimmage for Capital. Patton will let it go. Had a little bit of pressure, and now it's going to skip, and I think that might have touched the Muskingum player around the 21-yard line or so. We're going to have to check the spot.
Jake El Said came off the corner there, number 28 for the Crusaders, and luckily the punter kind of moved to the right as he was making that punt. Luckily for Muskingum, that is, because they had a free man, and you said it, they were stacked up on the defensive line there trying to get to the punter.
So now it'll be 1st and 10. Capital at their own 25-yard line. We've had a nice back-and-forth affair between Muskingum and Capital so far.
And like you said, this is their first chance to take a lead. It's been basically mirror images on offense so far.
Tied at 14 with 6:53 left to play in our first quarter. Capital with the ball. Wibbler in the shotgun. 1st and 10 from Capital's 25-yard line. Evan Butler trying to run, but there's really nowhere to go that time, as it looks like he'll lose a yard on the play. Making the defensive stop for Muskingum was Sean Gerst, senior out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there's just nowhere for him to go.
Loss of 1 on that last play. 2nd and 11, backing things up for Capital to their 24-yard line. I think I'm starting to feel a breeze a little bit blow through Bernlohr Stadium. That feels kind of nice, especially with the humidity that we had earlier today. Wibbler goes back to throw. Pump fakes. Now he'll have to run to his left. He'll have some room, and Wibbler was taken down, and oh boy, this is going to be a horse collar. Has to be.
Well, he kind of went down to slide and got hit as he was going through his slide, so it should be a personal foul. And that's going to be an easy first down. Wibbler didn't want to go to the screen that was set up there to Butler. His only choice then was to run. And again, he was giving himself up there, Charlie.
First down.
Penalty will be on Chris Weck, defensive end out of Cleveland Heights.
This game protects the quarterbacks more than anything. And if a quarterback is going down to the ground, giving himself up, let him slide. Pretty much simple as that.
Tell that to Ryan Shazier, who had to pay a big fine recently for the Pittsburgh Steelers after he made a big hit like that against Deshaun Kaiser for the Browns.
And obviously, I mean, it's hard as well. You're running full speed. A guy just kind of gives himself up right in front of you. But at the same time, you got to recognize that and just let him go to the ground. Don't give him a little extra hit.
1st and 10, Capital at their own 41-yard line. Wibbler, crowded backfield. And the give to about the 45-yard line goes Antoine Shipp. As Shipp continues to make an impact offensively. Even though he's listed as a defensive back, he's got some nifty moves as a running back.
Yeah, he's quick. Definitely quick.
2nd down and 6 after the gain of 4 by Shipp. Ball spotted at Capital's 45-yard line, under 5.5 to play. In the second quarter, it's Capital and Muskingum tied at 14. A beautiful Saturday evening here in Bexley, Ohio.
Waters in the slot to the right has a mismatch.
Wibbler in the pistol. Right behind him, he's his tailback. Wibbler takes a snap, kind of a high snap. He'll throw over the middle, and it will be complete to Barnett. And Barnett takes it to the Muskingum 45-yard line. First down, Crusaders. Second catch to the line for Barnett.
Heaters into the backfield now for the Crusaders as well. I was wondering if they crossed midfield, if they would get Heater back in there, as Butler started that possession as well. And I understand wanting to save Heater's legs, but he is running real good right now. You got to win the football game today as well. And they get Heater in. Don't be surprised to go right to him.
And they do. Carry to Heater, to the 45, to the 40, to the 35, 30, to the 25, inside the 20, to about the 19-yard line. Corey Heater busting out a big run that time, and once again, the Capital offense is in business. First down, Crusaders.
And the running back gets all the stats, but the offensive line up front is giving him tremendous holes to run through. He's getting into that second level real quick, and then that's when Heater's ability really takes off.
Wibbler gives to Heater, but now whistles all over the field. And apparently Capital wants to take a timeout. Oh, Muskingum, actually, excuse me.
There's a poor signal by the official up there very confusing. He did point towards Capital, but Muskingum with the tempo there, just trying to slow things down. Surprised someone didn't go down with a cramp or something lately that we've been seeing.
We'll keep things here at Bernlohr Stadium. 4:31 remaining in the second quarter. Muskingum and Capital tied at 14. Quick check of the stats. Thomas Wibbler, how about the night that he's had so far? 8 of 13 through the air for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. Corey Heater running the football has been magnificent. 9 carries for 77 yards. He's got a long of 26, and he's averaging 8.6 yards per carry. Leading receiver for Capital happens to be David Barnett. He's got 3 catches for 22 yards. I have really liked what I've seen from Capital's offense tonight, Jimmy.
Yeah, both teams right now also just wanted to get at this point in. Both averaging over 6 yards a carry right now. Capital at 6.1, Muskingum at 7.7. But yeah, especially the passing game, I kind of mentioned they struggled, and raining conditions probably had a part of that against Mount St. Joe's. They've had a lot more flow offensively today, and Wibbler's looked real good. 8 for 13 is a better number that I'm seeing than the 94 yards. I'm more concerned with that completion percentage.
Wibbler, play action, and boy, somehow, some way, David Barnett was not able to pluck that out of the air. I spoke too soon.
It would have been a good catch.
Yes, because he was going to the far side of the field, stretching out with 2 hands, but just wasn't able to snag the pass. Incomplete.
Iski's coming in now to get, again, that little bigger package. I expect we're going to see a lot of Iski in the game once the offense gets into the red zone. It looks like he's in the backfield in this formation.
Scored on a 1-yard touchdown reception earlier in this game. 2nd and 10. Capital at the Muskie 19-yard line. Wibbler, play action. He'll throw over the middle. Got a man into the end zone. Touchdown. David Barnett ran that seam route perfectly, and Wibbler was able to hit him with a touchdown pass.
And freshman Brian Brown guarding him, the nickelback. Just a huge mismatch. Barnett goes right past him, and a perfect throw for 6.
3rd touchdown pass of the night for Thomas Wibbler, who has come out smoking here on this Saturday evening. Boy, oh boy. And already his 6th touchdown pass of the season. And 3 touchdown passes against Mount St. Joseph. And the extra point is blocked.
He caught it.
And returning it for a couple of yards after the block was Clavon Birch.
Good thing they were heads up enough to run him down, because he caught that right out of the air. Yeah, special teams making a play.
So now it's Capital 20, Muskingum 14, and boy, let's hope that that does not come back and haunt Capital later on in this game.
I mean, they still got a 6-point lead. Muskingum's going to have to get in the end zone for that extra point to matter, but again, that is a big play. I mean, those extra points are considered automatic, and it can really swing a game sometimes when you need to get that 2-point conversion or something instead of having that point up there on the board.
Team stats quickly. Capital with 217 yards of total offense, with 113 of them coming through the air, 104 on the ground. Muskingum, 178 yards of total offense, with 116 of them coming on the ground. Capital with 12 first downs, Muskingum with 8. In other words, both offenses have been moving the football. Kick is away, and it'll be taken to the 5-yard line, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 35. And a flag will be thrown as the ball carrier will be taken down at the 40-yard line.
This will be the 5th penalty now for Muskingum.
Clavon Birch on the return.
Assuming it is on Muskingum, of course.
Still checking the penalty. Here it comes.
Holding number 46.
Obviously cutting in and out there, but
Well, we got enough of it. Tracy Wilson, the linebacker out of Cleveland, was the one who was the guilty party.
I think that's back-to-back returns now with a penalty as well for Muskingum. Is that correct?
Yes, and 5th penalty on Muskingum on the evening. Only 2 for Capital.
Yeah, that hurts. You had it across the 40 almost. And you're back inside the 25.
1st and 10, Muskingum at their own 24-yard line. 4:13 remain in the second quarter. Capital 20, Muskingum 14. Hahn is in the shotgun, and he will hand to Johnson. And Johnson will be brought down, and rather strongly at that, as making the tackle for Capital was big old number 66, Bobby Walker III, 5'8", 300-pound sophomore. My goodness gracious. That's a big boy right there.
Sure is.
Whew. only a gain of about 3. It's 2nd and 7.
Penalties really killed Muskingum on their last drive, and they got away from the run a little bit too.
Ball spotted at Muskingum's 27-yard line. Hahn back to pass, throws to his right. Johnson out of the backfield, and Johnson quickly tackled.
Flag thrown on the near side of the field.
LaShawn Sanders making the tackle for Capital. Flag thrown by the 28-yard line. What was happening down there?
I don't want to speculate, but I don't know if he called a face mask from across the field.
Ineligible downfield, number 8 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay the back.
All right.
Joey Scott, junior wide receiver out of Grove City.
Now, it looked like it might have been a face mask from up here, but if someone's going to make that call, I would hope it's not the official on the near sideline.
So it'll now be 2nd down and 12 for Muskingum from their own 22-yard line. 3.5 to play in the second quarter. Capital 20, Muskingum 14 here at Bernlohr Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, an ineligible downfield was called on a wide receiver. Clearly means he was not lined up correctly, making himself an ineligible receiver. And the officials are actually having more of a conversation about this now.
Well, it's a zebra convention out towards the 20-yard line.
Yeah, going back to that last drive from Muskingum, it was the penalties that put them in long yardage situations, led them to stalling out on that drive, and led to Capital taking the lead. And now again we see more penalties on the return, and they're going to wave the flag now.
Scrimmage.
Pass was behind the line of scrimmage, therefore there was no ineligible receiver downfield.
You'd like to see them sort that out before they called the penalty, but
No, better late than never.
so it should be 3rd and 7 or so now.
I think you're correct. 3rd and 6 according to the scoreboard. Ball spotted at Muskingum's 29-yard line.
Be a big stop. 3 minutes before half, he can get the ball back here.
Hahn will be in the shotgun. He's got 2 wideouts to his left, 1 to the right. He'll go back to pass. Hahn looking, he'll throw, and a tremendous tackle, fumble on the play, and was Capital able to recover it? Ball went out of bounds. Let's see what the signal is going to be, and they're going to keep it with Muskingum.
Yeah, the ball went out of bounds before Cap recovered. I don't know if Long ever completed that catch, honestly, out of the backfield there. It looked like he dropped it as soon as he got hit, but they called that a live football, and it went out of bounds. Fortunately as well for Capital, the ball did go forward, but it didn't go far enough forward that it would have given Muskingum a first down. Because if that ball goes out of bounds past the first down marker, actually would have been a first down. So a great play by the defense. They catch a little bit of a break as well, and they can get that football back.
Preciado back to return the punt for Capital. He will await this upcoming punt from Jared Patton. Preciado standing at his own 25-yard line. Patton gets the snap and whistles all over the field. Delay a game is going to be called against Muskingum. So Preciado will have to scoot up a little bit.
I'm kind of surprised Capital didn't use their final timeout there as well. Clock did tick off another 20 seconds or so, but maybe you want to save that timeout for a big play down the middle or something. Remember, in college first downs, the clock will stop until the chains are operated, so they still have plenty of time to get downfield and get some points before the end of half.
Patton gets it away. It'll bounce near the 40. And Preciado's going to let this bounce, and it's going to take a roll for Muskingum inside the 20 back to the 19-yard line.
In his defense, that was a very short punt. He had no chance to catch that out of the air. And yes, he could field that punt, but with 3 white jerseys in front of him, do you really want him to go out there and try to grab that ball on a bounce?
Well, and remember, too, Preciado fumbled a punt return in that game against Mount St. Joseph a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm okay with him letting that go. It's just unfortunate that it happened to bounce an extra 15 to 20 yards.
All right, so this is a prime chance for Capital to get something here in a 2-minute drill. 2:06 remaining in the first half.
And I think you start on the ground here and give it to Heater, see what you can do. If he gets the first down, then you get some pace going. But otherwise, you got a touchdown lead, and you've got the ball after halftime.
Wibbler complete to the 25, to the 30. out across the 35 to the 31-yard line. A first down for the Crusaders.
That's a similar idea. It's a pass that's going to be completed, and you see what Stanford can do after the catch. He gets the first down, and now you go with some pace here. You got a chance to get some points.
First and 10, Capital at their own 32-yard line. Wibbler in the shotgun, 3 wideouts on the field. Wibbler back to pass. He will throw, and it'll be out of bounds. So Wibbler got bothered from behind as Tim Ousley, the sophomore defensive end from MacArthur, Ohio, was applying pressure around the edge.
Yeah, there's two sides to the situation, obviously. You have the lead, you're going to get the ball, and you can try to get some extra points here, but if you stall out, you give Muskingum the ball back with 2 timeouts. So you kind of have to manage the clock both ways. You don't want to leave too much for Muskingum, but at the same time, you do want to try to score.
Wibbler rolling to his right now, trying to fend off, and he completes it out to the 40-yard line. David Barnett making the catch. Enough for the first down. Oh, what great courage displayed by Wibbler that time as he had a guy bearing down on him on the pass rush, but he was able to buy himself just enough time to complete it out to Barnett.
I think it was Mick Fischel, the linebacker, who came free. Heater tried to chop block him, and he jumped over Heater, was one-on-one with Wibbler, who kind of sidestepped it, one to just avoid a sack, but to get a first down on that play, great individual effort by Thomas.
First and 10, Capital at their own 42-yard line. Wibbler throws, complete. No, it's dropped. He was trying to find, I think that was Barnett over the middle.
Those drops this season for him. That's not a bad drop. That was only going to give him 3 or 4 yards, and the clock would have kept ticking. So actually not a bad drop at all. Can kind of reset your offense here. They get some new personnel out there as well.
Incomplete pass, so second and 10. Capital at their own 42-yard line. 2 wide receivers to his right, 1 to his left, and Heater is his tailback. Wibbler in the pistol. Wibbler back to throw. Looking, dumps it off, and oh man, he had Corey Heater over the middle, but kind of an awkward looking play that time as Heater had no choice but to reach out with just one hand.
Well, at this point, you're committed to going for it here, so you don't want to run a draw or anything to just run some clock. Muskingum would probably call a timeout, and you'd have field position, but I think you take a shot here, try to get the ball down the field, and if not, punt it away, and should be going into halftime with the lead either way.
Third and 10, Capital at their own 42-yard line. 4 wideouts, 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Wibbler back to throw. Rolling to his right. He's got a man at the 50-yard line, but that'll be a couple of yards short as he was able to complete the pass to Dar Stanford. Boy, decision time here for Coach Rogo. The way the offense has been moving the football.
I think you got to punt.
Yeah.
You turn it over here, you give Muskingum a short field with a minute left.
Probably the smart play just to punt the football away.
If this was middle of the third quarter, I think maybe you go for it, but just manage the situation. You're going to get the ball back to start halftime. You have a lead. Punt it away.
Now to punt the football away is Avery Wirt.
If it was Madden, you go for it.
Yes.
Real life,
yes.
I think you punt it away.
Very good. Wirt, strong punt. This will bounce inside the 10, and it will take a capital roll inside the 5-yard line, all the way back to the 4. How about that? Nice punt by Wirt.
Yeah, Muskingum, I mean, you pretty much, you don't have an option of throwing the football here, I think. You got to just go in the locker room, go down by 6. You are getting into danger zone if you drop back in your own end zone and try to throw it out of there.
They do have 2 timeouts remaining.
And Cap only has 1, so it's probably not likely that Capital would get the ball back unless Muskingum elects to throw and throws a couple of incomplete passes. I think you just kind of throw it or just run up the middle here, see if you bust one. If not, maybe take a knee or 2 and get in the locker room.
53.5 seconds remain in the first half. Capital 20, Muskingum 14. First and 10 for the Muskies from their own 4-yard line. The give is to Johnson, and Johnson will take it to the 8-yard line. That'll be a pickup of 4 on the play. And I would imagine, Jimmy, just a couple more runs for Johnson, and that will take us to halftime.
Yeah, they're in no hurry here. The play clock is at 30 seconds now, 36 on the game clock. So, honestly, they should probably just take a knee, get in the locker room, and Cap should get the ball back with a 6-point lead when we come back from half.
So Muskingum will break the offensive huddle. 22 seconds and counting. In our first half, Capital 20, Muskingum 14, excuse me. Hahn will give to Johnson. Johnson with a big run out to the 20-yard line. So that will stop the clock momentarily as they move the chains.
Now they call a timeout.
Interesting. I guess I figure if you're Muskingum, seeing that you got the big run that time, you call the timeout, talk it over offensively, and now Capital, I think, might have to be aware of, trickeration. We've already seen a halfback pass go for a touchdown in this game.
I mean, that was a nice run, but I don't understand the timeout there. You already ran off a good 20 seconds. If you're going to try to get the first down and move the ball, could have snapped the ball 15 seconds earlier, and they'd still have about 30 seconds with an extra timeout. You still got to go 80 yards here in 13 seconds with one timeout. I guess you could take a shot over the middle, try to call a timeout, and take another shot to the end zone, but there's so much that can go wrong as well here. I don't know if it's worth it.
13.4 seconds remain in the first half. Capital 20, Muskingum 14, 1st and 10. Muskingum at their own 20-yard line. Hahn with 3 wideouts to work with, 2 to his right, 1 to his left. He'll now put a man in motion, and he will give to Johnson. And Johnson, with some room, out to the 30-yard line.
He dropped the ball.
And it's a fumble, and hold on a minute. Did Capital recover? Yes, they did! Oh, my goodness!
What did I tell you, Charlie?
And Capital will have some time to work with here. Okay, let's talk strategy now after the fumble recovery here, Jimmy. You got 4.8 seconds. The ball will be spotted at about the 29-yard line. I'm not too familiar with Blake Middleton's range, but it probably wouldn't hurt to attempt a field goal here before the end of the half, right?
I don't know. They're sending the offense out. So, I mean, obviously they have a better idea of the range. I think if you're going to run a play, you just got to go into the end zone here. You don't have enough time to try to get a couple extra yards. I guess if you want to do a quick pass to the outside, Barnett has a big cushion at the top of the screen. You can maybe get 3 or 4 yards, and maybe that'd be enough to get into field goal range. 2
receivers each side of the field. Final play of the first half. Wibbler looking, throwing, and it is juggled and incomplete. That will be the end of the first half. Good first half offensively for Capital and defensively as well, as the Crusaders leading Muskingum 20-14 at the half. Coming up, you will hear a live performance. For those of you seeing our game on video, you'll get to see the Johnstown High School marching band out on the field. And coming up much later, we'll go over the stats and much more on the Crusaders halftime show. Again, Capital leading Muskingum 20-14 at the half. This is Crusaders football here on the Capital Sports Network.
Johnstown High School proudly presents the pride of Johnstown. Your Johnstown Johnny Big Red Band. Treasures, that is what you are. Johnstown, you're my golden star. I know you can make our wish come true if you
Welcome into the Crusaders halftime show. At the half, it is Capital leading Muskingum 20-14 alongside Jimmy Bloomfield. I'm Charlie Danis. Well, Jimmy, first half, pretty entertaining. Back and forth affair between the Crusaders and the Muskies. Both offenses moving the ball up and down the field. This has been a fun night at Bernlohr so far.
Yeah, we had some late drama there in the first half as well. A turnover almost leading to a Capital touchdown. They had only 5 seconds to work with, so they just had to throw up a Hail Mary. Crazier things have happened. Look at Florida earlier today. If for college football fans out there, they went on a 63-yard Hail Mary today. But yeah, overall in that first half, you got to like what you see from the Crusaders offensively. Moving the ball through the air, 142 yards for Wibbler with 3 touchdowns, and they're averaging 6 yards a carry on the ground, 246 total yards, 0 turnovers. Pretty good half.
Let's give you the scoring summary here real quick. Muskingum first got on the board with 6:04 remaining in the first quarter. Running back Damon Jones was hit with a 46-yard touchdown pass via running back Bernard Johnson. A little trickeration by the Muskies that allowed them to get an early 7-0 lead. Capital responded with a 1-yard touchdown pass to Nick Iskey from Thomas Wibbler. That came with 1:12 remaining in the first quarter. Muskingum went back on top 14-7 with 13:27 remaining in the first half, thanks to a Bernard Johnson 7-yard touchdown run. And then the next 2 scores belonged to Capital, a 17-yard touchdown reception by Dar Stanford at the 10:39 mark, followed by a 19-yard touchdown reception by David Barnett at the 4:21 mark of the first half. And for the rest of the individual statistics, Jimmy, if you don't mind, tell us what's been going on in the game.
We'll start with the Crusaders. Thomas Wibbler, I just mentioned, 142 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's on 12 of 22 passing. Rushing for the Crusaders, Corey Heater leading the way, 9 carries, 77 yards for him. That's 8.6 a carry. Evan Butler has 3 carries for 27 yards as well. That means he has 2 carries for 0, but he does have the long run of the day with that 27-yard carry. And we've also seen a couple of carries out of kind of an individual we weren't expecting to touch the ball today, Antoine Shipp, listed as a defensive back. He's gotten 3 carries for 7 yards, including an 8-yard rush. And we might see him get a few more carries. Wibbler, 2 attempts for -7. Those are mostly due to sacks. To the receivers we go. David Barnett, 5 for 55 and a touchdown. A great bounce-back half from him. Dar Stanford had a touchdown reception as well, 3 for 36. We've seen Waters and Preciado each with 20-yard catches. Hunter Smith has added a 13-yard catch. And Nick Iskey, the backup quarterback, playing some tight end, has a catch for 1 yard and a touchdown, the first Crusader touchdown that Charlie just mentioned. We go to the other side of the ball. Muskingum, Brody Hahn has really not done much through the air at all. 4 for 6 for 23 yards is it. Bernard Johnson has the 46-yard passing touchdown as well, the running back. Johnson also 11 carries, 81 yards and a touchdown, 7.4 yards a carry. He's also added a catch for 13 yards. He's really done it all today, and if he catches a touchdown, he would complete the rare trifecta, throwing a touchdown, running for a touchdown, and catching a touchdown. So that's something to keep an eye out for. Brody Hahn has done a nice job on the ground, 6 for 62, averaging 10.3 a carry with 26 as his long. In total, that's 20 carries for 144 yards and 7.2 yards per carry, as well as that touchdown for the Muskies. Wide receiver-wise, again, there's not going to be a whole lot of stats here because they only have 23 passing yards from their traditional quarterback. Hayes Caruth has 2 for 3 yards. Johnson, I mentioned the 13-yard catch. Granger Long, the tight end, only 1 catch for 7 yards. They've done a great job on him. And Damon Jones was the recipient of the 46-yard touchdown. In total, 14 first downs for Capital to 10 for Muskingum. Total offense in favor of the Crusaders, 246 to 213. Muskies with 6 penalties. Capital had just 2, and the 1 turnover as well from Muskingum. Pretty much tilts the scale in our favor, I'd say, Charlie.
And one stat that really, or a couple stats that stand out to me from that first half, Jimmy, both teams have been doing an exceptional job of running the football. Capital averaging 6.1 yards on the ground. Muskingum a little bit better, 7.2 yards per carry for the Muskies. The running games have been very impressive so far.
Yeah, and Corey Heater's fresh right now. He really did not play a whole lot in the second quarter at all. Obviously, they're trying to keep him rested up throughout the season as it goes, and as well as this game. And I expect to see a heavy dose of Heater on this first drive out of the locker room.
Capital will receive the ball to begin the second half. Before we get to the opening kickoff of the second half, I want to get you updated with some games played earlier today in the OAC. Heidelberg triumphs over Ohio Northern 40-21. Mountain Union bludgeons Marietta 69-3. John Carroll is able to sneak by Baldwin Wallace 24-21. And Otterbein improves to 3-0 on the young season thanks to a 56-28 win over Wilmington. Capital will face Otterbein in 2 weeks, and the Crusaders, they will be on the road next week as they take on the Quakers at Wilmington. Our score at the half, or coming out of half, I should say, Capital 20, Muskingum 14. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will have the kickoff that will begin the second half here at Bernlohr Stadium. This is Crusaders football here on the Capital Sports Network.
816-187, Jocelyn Kaiser, you're the winner. Come to the SAAC table in the lobby here at the Cap Center to claim your prize. Congratulations, Jocelyn Kaiser.
Back here at Bernlohr Stadium, both the Crusaders and the Muskies have retaken the field. I want to remind you folks that next week we will not be on the air for football because Capital will be on the road. They will be taking on the Quakers at Wilmington. That game is scheduled for a 7:30 p.m. kickoff, so once again Capital will be playing under the lights. The following week, Capital comes back home. It's homecoming, and it is the big rivalry game between the Cardinals and the Crusaders. Otterbein comes to town for a 1:30 kickoff. We will get things started with the Crusaders pregame show that day beginning at 1 p.m. Always look forward to the big rivalry game with Otterbein. So now Capital will get back to business here, leading Muskingum 20-14 coming out of halftime. Capital won the opening toss and they defer to the second half. Therefore, they will be the first team to possess the ball here in the second half. An entertaining first half between both of these teams. Capital with 246 yards of total offense, Muskingum with 223 yards of total offense, although the vast majority of their yards have come on the ground. A very balanced attack for Capital. Thomas Wibbler has been on point at the quarterback position. Corey Heater has looked explosive at running back. And David Barnett has had a big bounce back game at wide receiver. He had 4 catches in the loss against Mount St. Joseph, but a slew of drops so far tonight. Barnett, who had a sensational season as a freshman a year ago, has looked very sharp for the purple and white.
There's 5 players right now for the Crusaders averaging over 10 yards a catch, so that's obviously a good sign for the offense.
Alice kicks it away. We're underway here in the second half. Waters at the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, and he will be spilled at about the 32-yard line. As making the special teams tackle was Mick Fischel, the senior linebacker out of Dover, Ohio. So now Capital's offense will come back onto the field.
Yeah, that kind of, sabermetrics is more of a baseball term, but one of those things they look at in football lately are yards per attempt. And Wibbler has over 6 yards an attempt, which is actually a pretty high number. You see more conservative offenses with maybe 3 or 4 yards an attempt, so they're really opening things up through the air today, and that's probably leading to some help from Heater in the backfield.
Wibbler, back to pass. He will throw, and it is out of the reach of Stanford, incomplete. In on the coverage for Muskingum was Caleb Gators, a junior out of Zanesville.
He was breaking away there, too, at the end of that route. It looked like that ball hung up there another second. That was going to be a huge play, probably a touchdown. Good coverage, though.
2nd and 10. Capital still at their own 31-yard line. Wibbler in the shotgun. With 2 wideouts to his left and 1 to his right, Corey Heater, his tailback on his left hip. Wibbler rolling to his left. He will throw. He's got, nope, it was way over the head of David Barnett. Barnett is 6'3". You would have to be 6'9" in order to catch that pass incomplete.
There's been a few of those tonight, too, from Wibbler. That was that moving pocket kind of play again.
So now 3rd and 10 upcoming here after a couple of incompletions from quarterback Thomas Wibbler, who has 142 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns.
I like taking that first shot. I think I would have gone run there and gotten Heater his touch. Now you're in a 3rd and long situation instead.
4 wideouts on the field. Wibbler back the throw. Looking, scrambling to his right, throwing, and he's got a man at the 40, to the 35, 30, to the 25, 20. Stanford goes out of bounds near the 20-yard line. Oh my goodness, Dar Stanford, you are a playmaker. First down, Crusaders.
Stanford averaged 17.5 per catch in his first game, and tonight, that's now another big one for him. It's going to be, what is that, a 40-yard gain there for Stanford almost.
I mean, you can instantly recognize the chemistry that Wibbler has with Stanford, going all the way back to their days, their prep days at Zanesville, and former college collegiate teammates at Ohio Dominican as well. Corey Heater with some strong running as he takes it to the 15-yard line.
It officially goes for 47. Stanford now 4 for 83 after a 4 for 70 performance in game 1. And again, you mentioned the chemistry. It's 3rd and long. You're going to your money guy on 3rd and long, and it's clearly Dar Stanford for Thomas Wibbler right now.
And by the way, with Stanford emerging in the offensive lineup for Capital, this is only going to make David Barnett better as the season goes along, because defenses are going to want to key in on Stanford, leaving one-on-one matchups for Barnett. Wibbler will tuck it. No, he will actually give it off, as the carry will go to the 9-yard line. Once again is Antoine Ship with the carry, who turned in a pretty decent job running the football, considering that he was listed as a defensive back on our roster.
Yeah, again, Ship, this is another change of pace, but they're going the other way. Instead of the bruiser with Butler, you're getting a lot of speed with Ship in the backfield.
So now it'll be 1st and goal. Capital at the Muskie 8-yard line already. 13-18 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Capital 20, Muskingum 14. Wibbler and the shotgun. And it's a run play, and no, it's a run up the middle, and it's going to be a touchdown for Capital. They faked out everybody on that run play as Hunter Smith glides into the end zone for a Crusader score.
They're going to go for 2. I'm not even entirely sure what happened on that play. It might have been a shovel pass after a fake to Ship. We'll see what the official scoring is on that.
There was a fake jet stream as well in there. You talked about adding little wrinkles here and there in the Capital offense. That's what the Crusaders have been doing tonight, Jimmy.
Yeah, they're going for 2, so this could probably be a creative play call as well.
Wibbler will set up on the shotgun. He's got 3 wideouts to his right and 1 to his left. Heater is his tailback. Wibbler back to throw, and it's picked off in the end zone. Carried out to the 5, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 40, to the 45.
Whew.
Picked off by Drew Lowry, but man, more importantly, Capital was just able to shove him out of bounds. Muskingum wasn't able to get 2 points out of that.
He had a convoy. Nick Waters just took off running to midfield. He didn't even try to stop him before they got to that point. That was a pretty smart play because it allowed his defense, or his offense, which became the defense, to help him out with that tackle. By the way, the play was a run to Hunter Smith, so there was a handoff involved. There was a fake jet stream, like you said, and then they faked a handoff to Ship, who came across. Everyone thought Ship had it, including myself. And then Hunter Smith all of a sudden runs up the middle. Almost like a fumble-rooski of sorts, but they actually did execute a handoff in there. And a 9-yard rushing touchdown for Hunter Smith.
So now it is Capital 26, Muskingum 14, a 12-point lead for the Crusaders, with 13:07 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Not a bad start if you are Capital to begin the second half.
No, and Smith running the ball last year, I don't think he even got a carry. He did not. So that was his first carry in the better part of 2 years. Turns it into 6 points.
Big play turned in by Hunter Smith. Kick is away now. It'll be taken at the 7-yard line, to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25. On the return that time is Clavon Birch. Ball will be spotted at the 27-yard line. 13:02 remain in the third quarter. Capital 26, Muskingum 14. This is a presentation of Crusaders football. Here on the Capital Sports Network, Charlie Danis, Jimmy Bloomfield joining you from a lit-up Bernlohr Stadium here in Bexley, Ohio. This has turned into quite a temperate fall night. Beautiful night here in Bexley. 1st and 10. Muskingum at their own 27. 4 wideouts. Give us to Johnson. Johnson to about the 30-yard line. And boy, Johnson was just screaming around right end as he will be forced out of bounds. We'll see where they have to spot the ball. I think he got it to the 33-yard line. So that'll be a gain of about 6 on the play.
He is dangerous when he's touching the football.
Bernard Johnson.
Did have the fumble at the end of the half, but other than that, a pretty good first half, to say the least.
Johnson quickly approaching 100 yards rushing, 2nd and 5, so a gain of 5 on that last play. Muskingum at their own 27-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Hahn back to pass. He'll throw over the middle, and it is caught, and it'll be enough for the first down as spinning his way for extra yards is, guess who, Bernard Johnson, sophomore out of Marietta. I'm sure the Pioneers are kicking themselves for not landing this kid.
Yeah, once they see him. Again, Johnson was just a special teamer for this team last year and has kind of came out of nowhere in terms of rushing. I mean, they had a couple of different players on the squad that had over 40 carries last season. Warren Wilson, a sophomore, had 46 carries for them. We haven't even seen him today.
1st and 10. Muskingum at their own 42. Hahn with the keeper to the 45 to midfield, spinning his way to Capital's 45-yard line. A more than decent scramble by Hahn that time. Brody Hahn from Louisville, Kentucky.
This is their running game right here. These two guys coming into today, they had 80 rushes, and 74 of them were from Hahn and Johnson. And today,
hold on a minute, Jimmy. A penalty flag coming up here.
56 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. We play first down.
Brandon Cox, sophomore out of Richmond, whistled for the penalty.
Another holding penalty that's been killing them today. That's what led to their, when it was 14-14, Muskingum football. A couple penalties really stalled out a drive. Capital took control of the game from that point. And here we are again now, down by 12. That is a massive penalty after a huge gain on the ground.
1st and 20 for Muskingum from their own 34-yard line. 11:42 left to play in the third quarter. Capital sporting a 26-14 lead over the Muskies. Hahn back to pass. No, he will run with it to the 35, and he will be smacked at the 40-yard line. Brought down on the play by Capital's Drew Seelig, the junior defensive lineman.
And 95 carries now for Hahn and Johnson this season of the team's 102. So it just kind of really shows you, especially in today's game of football, you usually will see some running backs cycle in, look at Capital for Exhibit A on that. They just run with Johnson and their quarterback, and that's about it.
Johnson, the definition of a workhorse in this game tonight. Hahn scrambling to his right. He will throw, and it's picked off! Picked off at the 45-yard line to midfield. Back into Muskingum territory, making the pick for Capital. Eric Strosky, the 6'2", 180-pound senior. It's Capital football.
They put a little bit of pressure on him with that moving pocket, and he just stared his man down that entire route. That's a freshman mistake, picked off by a senior who knows how to read the eyes of a quarterback. And Eric Strosky makes a nice play. 1st
and 10. Capital will be at Muskingum's 48-yard line. What a read that was by Eric Strosky as he was able to pick the pass off. First interception of the night for the freshman Brody Hahn. And now, Jimmy, Capital has a chance here to take control of this game.
I mean, pretty much have it at this point, and they can really just pad onto this thing and maybe put this thing out of reach. Up by 2 touchdowns already.
Wibbler, play action. Back to throw. Got a man. It's caught. Caught inside the 10-yard line. Oh, my goodness. Dar Stanford. He continues to impress here tonight at Bernlohr Stadium. A big first down for the Crusaders.
Guess who? Another 40-yard catch for Dar Stanford. He has 3 40-yard catches this season already. 2 games.
He's Mr. Big Play. Dar Stanford has been an electrifying playmaker for Capital so far this year. He is turning in a great game here tonight against Muskingum. So it's 1st and goal at the Muskies 6-yard line. Wibbler is in the shotgun. He's got 2 wideouts to his left and 1 to his right. He will give to Butler. And Butler will try to plow his way forward. He'll get inside the 5 to about the 4-yard line, but that'll be about it for Butler.
That could have easily been a loss. Butler just kept churning and was able to get almost to the, looks like they spotted it at the 4-yard line.
Gain of 2 on the play.
That's the hardest 2 yards he's going to earn this season, I think.
Yep. So it'll be 2nd and goal from the Muskie 4-yard line. Barnett and Waters split out wide to the left. Single coverage for Dar Stanford on the near side. Butler continues to be the tailback for Wibbler in the shotgun. Wibbler back to throw, and Wibbler shakes a tackle, and luckily for him, I think he might have gotten a yard out of that play right there as there was pressure bearing down on him from the blind side.
I think that was designed, believe it or not. It just was not a good design, or maybe Wibbler just called, just bailed out on the play pretty much as soon as he got the football because there was a lot of pressure right on him. Nick Iskey in the game, number 12 there. He's going to be at the top of the formation.
3rd and goal. Capital at the Muskie 30-yard line. In the pistol formation is Wibbler. A receiver to each side of the field. Butler, the tailback. Man now put in motion. Wibbler with the snap. Looking, rolling to his right. He will throw, and it is incomplete. And now a flag has been thrown at the 2-yard line. Looks like he was trying to hit Barnett on the pass play. We'll see what the call is here.
That original route was for Iskey again, just kind of leaking out of the backfield. And then panic ensued as the play was not there. Wibbler rolled out a little bit and threw it in the direction of either Barnett or Iskey, whoever it was, wasn't going to catch that pass.
This could be a big penalty right here.
Defensive pass interference, number 29. Half the distance to the goal, automatic 1st down.
Nehemiah Bowie whistled for pass interference.
Wasn't the most catchable ball, but I mean, if you're going to obstruct a route, it's going to be called, and that's another huge penalty because would have been 4th down. Capital likely would settle for 3. Instead, they get a whole new set of downs to crack at it from 2 yards away.
1st and goal at the Muskie 2-yard line. Butler, the tailback. A receiver to each side of the field. Wibbler in the pistol formation. Man put in motion. Give to Butler. Flag is thrown, and Butler has stood up at the 1-yard line. Now we have to check the penalty here. Probably on Capital. I think someone might have flinched.
Illegal motion maybe, too.
Butler on the carry. Cleavon Birch makes the stop for the Muskies.
Number 12 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Nick Iskey, whistle for the penalty.
Illegal motion was indeed the call. False start, usually you'll whistle those dead. You know, it is a dead ball foul. Occasionally they get a playoff and then you, for some reason, hear it. But it is a false start indeed, and some fresh faces into the backfield again for Capital. Looks like Nate-Sean Hargrove, number 40, is going to be playing tailback.
How about that? We're seeing a lot of new faces back out there for Capital. So Hargrove, the tailback. Barnett split out wide to the right. The give is to Hargrove. Hargrove inside the 5, into the end zone for a Capital touchdown.
Oh, gee, I guess we know why he's in the game. Stretch run.
Boy, Nate-Sean Hargrove went in there with a full head of steam, and he was not going to be denied. Touchdown, Crusaders.
That stretch run has been amazing play for them tonight, especially to the right side. They're getting right in behind Clapper and Lehman, letting them lead the way. And that's where Heater's gotten a big chunk of his yards, and now we see Nate-Sean Hargrove come in for the big play.
Hargrove with some strong running right there. Boy, oh boy. Hargrove, a junior, out of Columbus, went to Northland High School. Good for that young man. And the kick is away. It's good, but a penalty flag has been thrown.
We saw a flag on each side of the field here, so I would be inclined to believe someone is offsides on either side of the ball.
5 men in the backfield. On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
So just not lined up correctly there.
Okay.
Looks like they had 5 in the backfield.
So Capital will have to re-kick here. 32-14 in favor of Capital with the extra point pending here by Blake Middleton, freshman out of Miamisburg. Middleton, right-footed kicker. Waiting for the snap. Ziski. Snap back, hold down, kick is on the way, and it is no good. So after all that, missed extra point by Middleton. But Capital increases their lead. 8:19 remaining in the third quarter. It's Crusaders 32, Muskies 14. Quick timeout. We'll be right back to Bernlohr Stadium in just a moment. Eight 19 remaining in the third quarter here at Bernlohr Stadium. Capital lengthens its lead 32-14 thanks to a rushing touchdown by Nate-Sean Hargrove. Middleton will now kick it away for Capital. And this will be taken at the 10-yard line, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, and then out towards the 26-yard line. That was Ashton Walker, sophomore out of Lancaster, on the return for the Muskies. So now the Muskies will look for a response here offensively, but man, things looking pretty good for Capital. Get this, Jimmy, 362 yards of total offense already for Capital, 231 of them through the air. It's been a good night for Thomas Wibbler, but man, oh man, what a game it's been for Dar Stanford. 5 catches, 125 yards, and a score.
The big plays, already 3 40-yard catches. That is incredible. And let's give some credit to this defense, because Muskingum has not done anything. The last part of the second quarter and the first 7 minutes here of the second half, they were shutting down this Muskies offense and getting some help from some penalties, but taking advantage, and we see the interception that gave the offense a short field as well.
Johnson with a short carry. It'll only be about a gain of 4. You're absolutely right, Jimmy. Capital has made some really good adjustments after halftime defensively. And with Muskingum in this hole, it's not like they can run the football now. They're going to have to push the ball down the field at some point. That ball is tipped up in the air. Getting his big old bear paw up there was Corey Mays, the junior defensive lineman, 6'5", 250-pounder out of Cleveland.
I mean, they had 2 70-yard drives, 6 plays on the first one for 2 minutes and 50 seconds. That's all they had. Then 7 plays in 2:39 to get their second touchdown. That was at 13:27 left to go in the second quarter. And they haven't even been, I don't even know if they've been across the 40 since then.
3rd and 6, Muskingum at their own 32-yard line.
See Mays make a play. We had the interception last possession, and we're just seeing these guys on defense really make some plays, which is good to see.
Hahn back to throw, and he will complete it to the 35, to the 40, to the 45, to midfield, and taking it out of bounds at the Capital 45-yard line. Nice catch and run by Damon Jones, the senior out of Pomeroy, Ohio. First down, Muskies.
They're just late to get home there on the quarterback. And Hahn had an open man to throw to as a result. And Jones can make some plays in the open field as he did there.
Ball spotted at Capital's 43-yard line. 7:17 remaining in the third quarter. Capital 32, Muskingum 14. Muskies trying to get back into this game as they drive into Capital territory. Hahn with 4 wideouts. He'll put a man in motion. It's a screen pass to Johnson. And Johnson to the 40. Up near the Capital 35-yard line. I think they're going to spot this at the 36-yard line, so that's a decent pickup on the play for Johnson. Bernard Johnson out of Marietta, Ohio. Again, how did the Pioneers not pick this kid up? He was in their own backyard.
Yeah, he's looking real good right now for sure.
So now it's 2nd and 3. Muskies at Capital's 36-yard line.
And give credit to Muskingum as well for developing him. Again, didn't have any impact on this team last year. Basically, it was just a special teamers. I shouldn't say on the team, on the offense at least. And obviously, he's had a great summer, and he looks like one of the better running backs we've seen.
And it's a sack. Reading the play beautifully was Jordan Duncan, the 6-foot junior. Hahn was trying to fake it to Johnson, but Duncan did not bite on it, and he makes a big play for the Capital defense.
That's his second tackle for loss, too, from a corner. It's good to see. Duncan, he's made some great plays.
Isn't
over
it
the
exciting
years.
seeing guys fly to the
Yeah,
football?
and just closing speed on that was impressive. Him and Sanders are two real strengths of this team.
3rd and 6. Muskingum at Capitol's 39-yard line. Hahn with 2 wideouts to his right, 1 to his left. Johnson is his tailback. Hahn will drop back the throw, and it is off the fingertips and incomplete. Trying to find Darius Hayes-Carruth over the middle, and that pass will fall incomplete.
Got to make a play for your QB there. That was right at the sticks, too. It was a good route. He got deep enough.
Intercepted by Ebon.
How many times do you see a 3rd and 6 and a guy runs a 4-yard route?
4th down for the Muskies.
So now the Muskie offense will remain out there on the field. I mean, they kind of have no choice but to go for it here.
This is a pretty obvious call. 5:36 left to go. We're getting into the late stages already. And Capital can run the football. Today, 131 yards on the ground. That clock's going to be in motion, and you pretty much have to go for it here.
4th and 6. Muskingum at Capital's 39-yard line. Hahn with 3 wideouts. He'll throw, and it is incomplete. Batting the ball away at the last moment for Capital was LaShawn Sanders Jr. A turnover on downs for Muskingum.
You can't pick on either of these corners, Charlie. We saw Mount St. Joe's try to do that. And Sanders makes a great play, getting his hand in there and breaking up that pass.
So it'll be 1st and 10. Capital at their own 39-yard line.
Those guys are juniors. They've been in the secondary now together for 3 years, and it is really coming together now here in year 3. Kind of exciting that there's still another year of those guys back there.
And trust me, they have taken their fair share of hits in OAC play. They are grizzled veterans at this point. 1st and 10. Capital at their own 39-yard line. A receiver to each side of the field. Wibbler in the pistol. Play action. Throw over the middle. Caught by Barnett. Barnett takes a big hit too, but he still holds on at the Muskingum 45-yard line. And now Barnett is, oh boy, he's not getting up. This is not good.
Hopefully it's just kind of the wind getting knocked out of him there. That was a big hit, a clean hit. It was to the right area of the body, right on the numbers where you're supposed to hit him, and that's where they did. Not targeting or anything like that, and no flags are thrown, but obviously Barnett a big guy, and he is a big target, especially for, getting hit.
Barnett, 6'3", 215. Solidly built young man. Yeah, it looks as though that he just might have gotten the wind knocked out of him. I don't blame him. I mean, it's tough when you're a wide receiver and you get sandwiched like that over the middle.
Good to see him jog off the field. And when you're up 32 to 14, probably good time for him to take a little bit of a breather from this one and get him back out there maybe for the 4th quarter once he gets his wind back.
Eddie Preciado will check in a wide receiver in the meantime for Capital. 1st and 10 for the Crusaders at the Muskie 44-yard line. 5:20 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Capital 32, Muskingum 14. Wibbler is in the shotgun. Preciado lined up wide right. Heater, his tailback. And the give to the 45, and a penalty flag as being tripped up on the play is Antoine Chip.
Yeah,
But I have a feeling that this might be coming back.
Yeah, Coulter Thompson, I believe, is going to be the culprit here.
Block in the back, number 65 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, replay down.
And you, sir, are correct.
That's the left guard, Thompson.
So this will back things up for Capital a little bit after the penalty.
That was an interesting look. They had both Heater and Ship in their dual backs out of the shotgun. Haven't seen them on the field at the same time yet today.
1st and 10. Or actually 1st and 20, excuse me. I should have known this after the penalty. 1st and 20 for Capital at their own 45, at the 46. Wibbler, 2 wideouts to his left, 1 to his right. Wibbler in the shotgun. He'll drop back the pass. Now he'll scramble to his right. He'll throw. It is caught by Preciado to the 25 of Muskingum. What a tremendous throw by Wibbler, rolling to his right, and he found Preciado for another big Capital 1st down. Boy, these chunk plays have been coming fast and furious for Capital all night long.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes this happens when your offensive line, it looks like Logan Hernan was the man there. Number 79 was playing right tackle and just completely missed the block. Wibbler just gets outside of the pocket anyway and completes a heck of a pass to Preciado. And, sometimes as a quarterback, you've got to pick up your own line. They're out there obviously protecting you. And we've seen Wibbler on a couple of occasions evade a guy in the backfield and complete a big pass downfield.
Timeout on the field. 4:38 remaining in the third quarter. Capital 32, Muskingum 14. Quick timeout here on the Capital Sports Network. .438 remain in the third quarter. Capital 32, Muskingum 14. Alongside Jimmy Bloomfield, I'm Charlie Danis. This is Crusaders football here on the Capital Sports Network. Capital looking to add to its already big lead here. Wibbler in the shotgun. Heater in the backfield. Play fake. Throw complete to the 20. To about the 15. Hunter Smith with the reception for Capital. And it's enough for a Crusader first down.
I brought up the yards per attempt at the start of the half, and with all these big plays now, nearly 10 yards an attempt from Wibbler at the quarterback position. That is unheard of. Shows you the kind of day the passing game is having.
First and 10 for Capital at the Muskie 15-yard line. Wibbler will put a man in motion from the pistol formation. And the give is to Heater. Heater will take it to about the 12-yard line. So that'll be about a gain of 3. As I'm looking at the stats right now, Jimmy, Wibbler with 284 yards passing. And Heater, let's see here, he's now got 87 yards. Let's see here, he just needs 9 more rushing yards before he reaches 1,000 career rushing yards.
And the offense is well over 400 total now, 415 total offense.
Second down and 7. Capital at the Muskie 15-yard line. Barnett split out wide to the right. The give is to Heater. Heater stutter step inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Enough for a Capital first down.
And that should be 1,000 yards too, I believe. Yeah, 11 yards on that carry. So
that will put him at 98 yards on the game, and you are correct. So he's now at officially 1,002 career rushing yards. Good for Corey Heater. First and goal from the Muskie 4-yard line. Wibbler is in the shotgun. Puts the man in motion. The give is to Heater. Heater will dive into the end zone for another Capital touchdown. First rushing touchdown of the night for Corey Heater. And Capital lengthens this lead. Throwing, passing, it's all been working for Capital so far. And by the way, we still haven't gotten to the fourth quarter yet. 38-14 in favor of Capital. And now let's see if Blake Middleton here can get that blocked extra point out of his mind from the previous scoring drive. Snap back, hold down, kick is on the way. This time, much better effort by Middleton. It is good. 2:52 remain in the third quarter. Capital 39, Muskingum 14. Another quick timeout. We will come back to Bernlohr Stadium in just a moment. .252 remain in the third quarter, and Capital well ahead of Muskingum at this point. It is Crusaders 39, Muskies 14. Capital with 430 yards of total offense. 284 of those yards have come through the air. Thomas Wibbler 7 of 29 through the air for 3 touchdowns. Middleton will kick it away. It will be taken by Ashton Walker. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, Almost out to midfield, and now a late flag has been thrown as well.
46-yard line.
So we're going to have to check the penalty here.
Michael Wufu makes the stop.
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like it was in the area of the tackle.
Number 46 is
Another hold.
Looks like against Tracy Wilson. And that has been a problem for Muskingum tonight. That is now their 9th penalty of the evening.
And 3 on kickoffs.
Whoever the special teams coach is for Muskingum, I'm sure, is not too thrilled about that.
No. Absolutely.
So now Muskingum's offense will come back onto the field once again.
And his Capital defense is hungry, and they are performing at one of the highest levels we've seen them perform at.
And it looks like Capital has some backup players in there, particularly on the defensive line, as Johnson will get the carry. Making the stop will be Kane Murray, as Johnson will take it to the 35-yard line. Only a gain of about 2 on the play. Johnson still has an opportunity to go over 100 yards rushing tonight, but he did most of that damage in the first half. So far in the second half, Jimmy, it's been a different story.
Yeah, I mean, Johnson is still, I think, doing okay in this half, but he's just not getting any help, and they've had some big plays, and they get wiped out with penalties, so they're just not getting any kind of flow offensively right now, and I think you just have to keep feeding Johnson because no one else is really making plays.
On back to throw on 2nd and 8, and it'll be complete out to midfield as the pass will be completed to Damon Jones.
He's the exception. He's making some plays himself, but only has 3 catches in this game. That was his 3rd right there. Almost 100 yards for him on those 3 catches.
He's averaging 35.5 yards on catches tonight. I mean, Damon Jones, we talked about it in the pregame show about how this guy was averaging 25.5 yards per reception. 1st and 10 now. Muskingum at Capital's 47-yard line. Hahn rolling to his right. Hahn still looking down the field. And Hahn will have no choice but to throw it out of bounds. Great coverage down the field for Capital that time.
He moved the pocket literally to the sideline there. And somehow, Capital's still not able to get to him, but the coverage, basically a coverage sack when he has to throw the ball away like that.
2nd down and 10. Muskingum still at Capital's 47-yard line. 1:27 to go in the 3rd quarter. Capital 39, Muskingum 14. Capital has outscored Muskingum 19-0 in this 3rd quarter alone.
Yeah, 32 unanswered points as well.
Hahn will go back to pass. Looks over the middle, and it's incomplete. That ball hit the hands of tight end Granger Long, but Long was not able to hold on to it.
Simply just dropped the ball. It was right to him, right in the middle of the field. Not a whole lot of coverage near him in a soft zone there defensively. He's got to make that play.
3rd and 10. Muskingum still at Capital's 47-yard line. And I've kind of been surprised, Jimmy, by Muskingum not really getting to the line of scrimmage quickly. It's been long huddles.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, at least it's stopped, but 16 minutes or so left in this game. You're down by 25 points. You have got to get going.
And now a timeout's going to be taken by Muskingum, so apparently they took a little too much time trying to get that play off. We'll keep things right here at Bernlohr Stadium. 1:23 remain in the 3rd quarter. Capital 39, Muskingum 14. You know, Jimmy, while we have a moment, you cover the soccer programs here at Capital. How have they been doing lately?
Yeah, they're doing pretty well. The men's team has a couple wins that they put together. Actually, Ryan and head coach Don Marzano from the lacrosse team, they called the game here on Wednesday. I believe they played Denison, won that one 2-0. So they're coming off a win. Conference play starts up for both of them here at the end of the month. I believe homecoming is the first game for the men in conference play. At least it's the first one here at Bernlohr. So keep an eye out for that. We're definitely going to have a lot more broadcasts for those. We've been streaming the games on Facebook Live, and the broadcast will start up again with OAC play.
3rd and 10. Muskingum at Capital's 47-yard line. Hahn scrambling to his right. He will throw, and it is going to be caught at Capital's 30-yard line. Making the snag is Darius Hayes-Caruth. for a Muskingum first down.
To the 30-yard line.
Darius Hayes-Carruth, a good player for Muskingum. And Muskingum wants to get back into this ballgame. They're going to need a lot more plays just like that.
First and 10 Muskies.
So first and 10 for Muskingum at Capital's 30-yard line. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Pitch to Johnson to the 30. No, it's another halfback pass, and that was almost another interception for Capital, and now a flag has been thrown.
It's going to be offensive pass interference, I believe.
Trying to make the play defensively for Capital.
Number 56 on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
Yeah, an ineligible receiver again.
All right, let's try to sort this out here. Brandon Cox was the one, the offensive lineman who was the ineligible receiver downfield. Still trying to figure out who was the guy that made that defensive play.
Sanders was the one defensively there, and he got grabbed as he tried to catch the ball and tried to, made the signal to get a flag thrown, but you can't get a flag for tackling a defensive player who's trying to make an interception, obviously. So I'm not sure why he was trying to get a flag or anything, but a good breakup. And it looked like Johnson fumbled the ball as he was trying to get his grip on it, and what's led to the timing there that messed up there.
First and 15, Muskingum at Capitals 35. Pass over the middle, and it is off the hands of Darius Hayes-Carruth. And boy, Hahn threw that into a whole bunch of traffic, mainly Kay Murray out there, the 5'9" junior linebacker.
This defense is looking really good, Charlie. And again, they gave up, 38 points last time out, but a lot of that was dealing with a short field. When the offense has been flowing, they've been getting some rest on the sideline. The secondary has played awesome here over the last few drives, and this is probably the best unit we've seen defensively in the 3 or 4 years we've done this, Charlie.
Hahn rolling to his right on this third down play. He will throw, and it is batted away. Incomplete. Intended target, Hayes-Carruth. The deflection by Eric Strosky. Well, and Jimmy, let's be honest here. The conditions here this week are so much better. I mean, there was driving rain in that season opener against Mount St. Joe's. I mean, it was so bad that you might as well pack the ark up with 2x2. I mean, it was bad. The fact that there were turnovers and penalties for Capital, I'm sure that whole experience was exacerbated by the fact that they had to play in such poor conditions.
Sure.
Here tonight, Capital's been able to get on track offensively and defensively.
I'm excited what this defense can do here moving forward this season.
Hahn back to pass on a 3rd and 15. Scrambling to his right. Still looking. Throws. Desperation. Almost picked off. And then another flag is thrown. Almost making the interception was Austin White.
Ineligible downfield again, Charlie.
Stops the clock with 33.5 seconds remain in the third quarter.
Pass broken up.
Eligible downfield, number 6. He would be declined.
Whenever your quarterback is jumping like a ninja while he throws the football, definitely not a good play.
No.
And it should have been intercepted. Sets up a 4th down here.
Yeah, generally that is not a good move. Although, boy, back in the old days, I actually read somewhere that used to be a common delivery for quarterbacks like Joe Namath. And that was a thing back in the 1960s, but not anymore. That's typically not a smart move. 4th and 15. Hahn back to throw. Lofts a deep one. And that is going to be easily picked off by LaShawn Sanders Jr. To the 10, to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to midfield. Almost to midfield, and then a slew of flags as somebody lost their helmet as well.
A great return there by Sanders. The interception, result of a miscommunication as Jones cut it short right at the sticks. He turned around. The ball went about 10 yards farther than his route. Sanders was all alone. Makes the interception, and then a heck of a return that is probably going to be called back. Still, you're getting out of your seat here. It looked like he was getting ready to go all the way on that. And a good 30-yard return that's going to be wiped out likely by the results of this flag.
Second interception of the night for Brody Hahn.
He struggled 9 for 20, throwing the ball just 100 yards. Talking about yards per attempt for him, just 5 yards per attempt.
And the freshman has not been playing all that well, particularly here in the second half. as we are still having a convention about this penalty. A long discussion. 16.4 seconds remain in the third quarter. Capital 39, Muskingum 14. And now we have another discussion at the 35-yard line. 2 turnovers on the night for Muskingum.
First, unnecessary, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 42, first of the ball game. Below the waist on Muskingum. We got a first down, Capital.
So Drew Seelig whistled for a penalty for Capital. Wasn't really able to hear the penalty on Muskingum.
I think they said something below the waist. I don't know.
Like a chop block or something?
I must have been, but it must have been before the ball was thrown if it's going to be a block like that. Unfortunately, it backs Capital all the way back up to the 15-yard line, which I'm not sure how they decided on settling the ball there.
In any case, first and 10. Capital at their own 15. Receiver to each side of the field. Wibbler gives, and Evan Butler trying to break out of a tackle, and oh man, Butler slams his fist in disgust as he was looking to take it around right end. Making the stop on the play for Muskingum was Nehemiah Bowie. I'll tell you what, Heaters had a good night, but if Butler can continue with that tough running of his, all of a sudden, Capital has a great 1-2 punch at running back. That's the end of the third quarter. Capital 39, Muskingum 14. Come on back for the fourth quarter here at Bernlohr Stadium. This is Crusaders football on the Capital Sports Network.
We'd like to thank our sponsors for their continued support of Capital Athletics.
Let's start the fourth quarter here at Bernlohr Stadium. Capital 39, Muskingum 14. The Crusaders outscoring Muskingum 19-0 in the third quarter. Charlie Danis, Jimmy Bloomfield joining you from Bexley, Ohio. Jimmy, impressive third quarter for the Crusaders.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really draw it up better than that. 19-0, basically 3 touchdowns. Some problems with the extra points and going for 2 there, but again, 32 unanswered points right now and possession of the football. It's going well.
Wibbler throws, and is that caught? No, it is incomplete. Nick Iskey went out there with a deep pass pattern, and Wibbler threw that off of his back foot. So that'll be an incomplete pass, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 6 for Capital from their own 19-yard line.
Iskey obviously not a natural receiver at all, trying to make a catch there on the sideline.
It's still a learning experience for him.
He did haul it in, but just obviously didn't get his foot down or anything like that.
3rd and 6, Capital at their own 19-yard line. Wibbler back to throw, and it is caught over the middle for a first down out of the 40-yard line. Connor McLeod, 6-foot junior from Reynoldsburg. First down, Crusaders. And McLeod will immediately exit the ball game right there, but still a good passing play. Kind of surprised that we haven't seen more McLeod as the game has progressed.
Yeah, it might have been his first play on the field there, honestly.
Because I don't recall him being out there on the field at all. It's been Stanford. Barnett has been out there. Preciado as well. Give is to Butler. And Butler will try to squirm his way forward, and he will to about the 44-yard line or so. So that'll be about a gain of 5. Looks like Corey Heater's night is done, by the way.
That was the 6th catch for over 20 yards, by the way, by a Crusader. Stanford has 2 for 40, and then Preciado has 2 of them. Nick Waters has 1, and now Connor McLeod with another. So 6 different receptions for over 20 yards in this game.
Capital starts with the letter C. The other word that starts with C, chunk, as in chunk plays. Those have been huge for Capital tonight. 2nd and 5. Capital at their own 44. Butler with some room, and he will steamroll his way to midfield. Strong running by Evan Butler, the sophomore out of Dayton, Ohio.
Kind of unfortunate that Heaters Night's done. He's going to end at 99 yards. But a great game from him. 13 for 99, 7.6 yards, and I'm sure they're fine resting him up for the rest of this season. He looked phenomenal tonight again, Charlie. The second half was his half against Mount St. Joe's 2 weeks back, and he just picked up right where he left off, and he is going to be a threat this season for Capital.
He certainly looks the part, and knock on wood, let's hope that he stays healthy. Wibbler back to throw, and he'll just throw it into the turf as he was trying to set up a screen in the direction of Nick Iskey. Boy, you know who I really want to see back out there on the field? I want to see more of Nathan Hargrove. Nathan Hargrove scored from 5 yards out in the third quarter, one of those 3 touchdowns that Capital scored in the third quarter, and boy, that man ran angry, let me tell you.
I don't even know where he is down there, but it'd be cool to see him get a few more carries. And I wouldn't mind Hunter Smith getting another carry or two. He had a 9-yard touchdown run.
Just try to spread the wealth around a
Sure.
little bit. Nothing wrong with that.
This is a deep team. It's fun to have this many weapons.
Wibbler rolling to his right, throws off his back foot, and it is incomplete. The ball was caught by Muskingum defensive back Clavon Birch, junior out of Akron. But luckily for Capital, that will fall as simply an incomplete pass.
Connor McLeod comes onto the field. Nick Iskey comes off. Remember, McLeod can throw it too. He had a pretty good season last year, filling in as kind of a 2-quarterback offense once Wibbler went down. And McLeod threw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns versus 3 picks last season.
It's just fun to watch this Capital offense. 3rd and 10. Ball at midfield. Wibbler in the shotgun. Steps up, and he's going to be sacked. Sack behind the line of scrimmage, and getting to him was Zach Carroll, the junior out of Vienna, West Virginia.
And no one there blocking, obviously, as Stanford was wide open at the 30. Beltler was wide open at the 40. Both would have given him first downs. Wibbler had no chance to get the ball out, though. Unfortunate there.
So now will be another punt for Avery Wirt. It's a good night for your football team when your punter stays on the sideline for most of the night.
2 returners from Muskingum here. Keep an eye on a reverse or something tricky back there.
Hayes, Caruth, and Walker. That's a wobbling kick. That'll hit at the 25, and it will simply be down by LaShawn Sanders Jr. Boy, showing off some hops there, too, as he prevented a Muskingum bounce.
Kind of an athletic play there from Sanders, who we just saw with the interception.
1st and 10 for Muskingum upcoming here at the 12:06 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's Capital 39, Muskingum 14. Again, we want to remind you that our next football broadcast will be 2 weeks from now after a road game at Wilmington next week. Capital will play host to the longtime rivals, the Otterbein Cardinals. Kickoff for that game is scheduled for 1:30 on September 30th, and the pregame will begin at 1 p.m. It's homecoming. It's the rivalry game. The Athletic Hall of Famers honored as well. The recent Hall of Fame class. Should be a fun time. Johnson with a strong run across the 30, and they will actually mark him at the 34-yard line. That was a gain of 11 on that play for Bernard Johnson. And that will put him over 100 yards.
After the Otterbein game, we have just 2 more home games. We have the October 21st game against John Carroll and the November 4th game against Marietta.
And that's about it.
That's it?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
We're going to have 3 in 4 weeks and then just 2 in the 6 weeks that follow.
Hahn, nice spin move. To the 35, to the 40, to the 45, to midfield. And he will be forced out of bounds by Jordan Duncan.
Jordan Duncan chasing.
Nice run that time by Hahn. I think Muskingum has got something in this young man, Hahn, Jimmy. Only a freshman.
Yeah, the penalties was the big thing that really hurt them today, and the momentum just kind of got sucked right out of that sideline. Hahn now just trying to make something happen. He's thrown a couple of interceptions. I really don't blame him too much for this, at least the start of the downfall here for Muskingum tonight. He's looked great running the football.
Hahn with a quick throw. It is complete to the 40, to the 35, and forced out of bounds around the 30-yard line is Darius Hayes Caruth.
There's been a number of drops as well on that Muskingum side of the field. think at least 3 off the top of my head. There's some weapons here from Muskingum, and this is probably going to be, I think, their best offensive season they've had in the last 6-7 years.
Fourth catch of the night for Hayes Caruth. 1st and 10 for Muskingum at Capital's 33-yard line. Capital 39, Muskingum 14 with 10:45 remaining in the fourth quarter. A simple run up the middle for Johnson to the 30. This will only be a gain of about 3.
I mean, that Otterbein game in 2 weeks, not to overlook Wilmington, but we're not broadcasting that game. That could be a real litmus test for this Capital team and what kind of year we're looking at. If they win that game against Otterbein, they could be staring at a 3-0 record heading into what is not a fun month for Capital, usually October.
No, and it will be a tough month. Ohio Northern, Mount Union, John Carroll, and Baldwin Wallace.
And 3 of those on the road.
That's going to be tough. But in the meantime, we're just focusing here on the positives. There have been a lot of them here tonight for Capital, as they lead Muskingum 39-14, under 10 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Now, you know, I'll go ahead and look ahead to the Otterbein game. The way the Cardinals have been scoring the ball, and the way Capital's offense has been looking tonight, assuming nobody big gets hurt, that could be a real offensive shootout.
It was last year, too.
Yeah.
It was a great game last year. If we get half the game that they had last year, it will be a good game for us.
That'll be fun. 3rd and 2. They give it to Johnson. Johnson, more than enough. 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Bernard Johnson. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the night. Bernard Johnson, a good player for Muskingum. Hahn is a freshman. Johnson's a sophomore.
Yep.
If you're Muskingum, you got 2 big pieces right there to work with offensively for the next couple years.
Yeah, I think the issue with Muskingum is their defense right now. That's the area that they need a little bit more addressing. They have a very young offensive line as well.
Austin Allison on for the point after. And the kick is up and good. 9:25 remaining in the fourth quarter. Capital 39, Muskingum 21. All right, Jimmy, we have a little bit of time, and we're already talking about the future schedule for Capital. I came into the season, honestly, thinking that Capital has a real chance at finishing the season at 500, an even 5-5. Let's take a look at the schedule here for just a moment and project a little bit. What do you think?
I mean, obviously, we're early in the season, so I'm throwing all the disclaimers out right now, but getting Otterbein at home is going to be pretty big. That could be, I think they'll win at Wilmington next week and have Otterbein. And I think they're going to have a decent shot at looking 3-0 going into October. Honestly, if they steal one of those games in October, that might be enough to ask out of this team. And I think they can hang with Marietta here at home as well. And that means they're going to have to upset probably 2 out of Ohio Northern, Baldwin Wallace, and Heidelberg, which will all be road games.
Yes.
To get to 500, unfortunately, because they lost that game to Mount St. Joe's. But even 4-5 in conference play, this is a really tough conference. And as long as those games are close, I don't think it's the worst finish to a season.
A return out to the 35-yard line, and now a late flag as well. Might have been some extracurricular activities at the end of that. Making the return, looks like it was Antoine Ship.
I mean, if they get a win against Mount Union or John Carroll, obviously that's a big if.
Well,
but
yeah, obviously that would be huge.
That is the kind of program-changing win that you'd be looking for, and probably might get some national coverage for it, honestly. So, obviously, you don't go into those games expecting to lose or anything like that, but I mean, that would be something that's just so enormous for this program, and you get that opportunity every year to get a win like that. So, I mean,
John Carroll does have to come here, by the way,
sure.
the defending OAC champions.
So, I mean, I don't want to project, what games you're going to win, what games you're going to lose or anything like that, but if this team goes 3-0 in September here after the loss in non-conference play, it makes it interesting in a night game at Ohio Northern. It could be a fun game against Mount Union and John Carroll being 4-0 like that in conference play.
Big run here to the 35-yard line. That's my guy right there. Nate Sean Hargrove, junior out of Columbus, Ohio.
He's looking real good. Where does Coach Rogo find these guys?
I don't know. You know, we were kind of saying the same thing with James Zamore, the defensive tackle who had a pretty good game against Mount St. Joe's.
He did.
If you were listening to the pregame interview, this was a guy that didn't really have a lot of time to play football last year as a junior because he was busy with ROTC and a whole bunch of other academic issues, but he decided to go out for the football team, and now he's making an impact on the defensive line. I'm sure that's kind of the same thing here on the offensive side.
Wow.
Nathan Hargrove, by the way, another impressive run out to the 45-yard line. Gain of 9.
I got another name. I mean, last year Chuck English wasn't even heard of the first few games, and he was one of their best defensive players by the end of the season. Had probably one of the most memorable plays from last year, the big pick 6. And Coach Rogo just finds these guys, and it's a lot of motivation. I mean, you can name Connor McLeod as well, a guy that came on late last year. It's motivation for you. If you have a couple good weeks of practice, he's going to get you out there on the field. You're going to get your touches. And we saw that today with Shipp and Hargrove in the backfield.
Nathan Hargrove, 5'9", 215-pound junior from Columbus, went to Northland High School here in the Central Ohio area. Hargrove making a cut across the 45. And he will take it to the 48-yard line, gain of 4 on the play. Another Crusader first down. I mean, think about this for just a second. If you have a hard runner like Hargrove as your third-string running back behind guys like Evan Butler and Corey Heater, you're looking pretty good at the tailback position. I'm just saying.
Depth is important, and let's give credit to this offensive line as well for the game they've had. They have controlled pretty much this entire game on the ground, and may have missed a few blocks picking up in coverage, but Wibbler was there to pick them up as well. And all 5 of them deserve some credit for this show that this offense is putting on nearly 500 yards now.
Nick Iskey, by the way, in at quarterback, and now the give is to Dylan Schoonover, 5'7" freshman. He hails from Grove City.
It's like a kind of a smaller, stockier build to him. Quick feet to get through that hole there on that first down carry.
Well, I've been noticing, Jimmy, with these recent recruiting classes, particularly under Coach Rogoszewski, he's been doing a nice job of keeping local players here, but every once in a while he'll pluck a player from Florida or California nationwide. That's the right way to go about for a Division III program. Schoonover to midfield, and he'll be spilled at about the 48-yard line.
I mean, there's a lot of schools here, obviously, in Columbus and just the central Ohio area. Just draw a circle around pretty much 270, and you've got, probably 25 to 50 high schools right there to pick your players from.
Doesn't matter if you're recruiting players from Upper Arlington, from Olentangy, to Hilliard, to Dublin, and everything in between.
All the Westerville schools.
Exactly.
You've got Lancaster area. There's so many different programs you can go to.
Oh, and don't forget about the Catholic schools as well, programs
Sure.
like DeSales and Bishop Hartley. 3rd and 5. Give us a Nathan Hargrove. Hargrove will cut it upfield inside the 40-yard line to the 39.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know what it is about this kid, but I'm just looking at him, and he just runs angry.
He sure does.
I mean, man, and he's got a quick burst, too, for a guy his size.
Ryan likes him too, Charlie.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's very good.
He's running. I mean, he's getting giant holes to run through, but he is exploding through them.
1st and 10. And he's a junior, too. He's probably just like Zamore in that he was a late addition to the program. Boy, where is Rogoszewski finding all these players?
Look at him get
Hargrove
outside.
to the 35, to the 30. Another first down as he'll take it to the 27-yard line.
How does he turn the corner like that?
Just keep handing him the football. Just keep handing him the football, and Capital, you will be fine. First down, Crusaders.
Looks like Pasula is going to spell him after 3 hard runs there from Hargrove. I think he's going to get a couple more carries next week.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, this is, compared to years past, I mean, Jimmy, this is exciting seeing all these different weapons and seeing all these guys contribute on offense. It's fun to see for Capital. Iskey, excuse me, will give off, and it will be taken to the 25-yard line. Jake Pasula, is a 5'10", 195-pound sophomore and he comes from Scottsdale, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Florida, California, Pennsylvania. Some players from Kentucky. Hey, you can't just focus on one particular area. You got to be able to pluck good players from all different parts of the country, and that's what Capital's been doing. 2nd and 8. Capital at Muskingum's 25-yard line, approaching 4 minutes to Capital 39, Muskingum 21. Iskey in the pistol. Iskey will give off, and battling his way forward will be Pasula.
Hargrove's going to be back in the game now.
Oh, goody.
I mean, just talking about recruiting as well is kind of obviously a different sport, but that's been a big focus for the lacrosse team as well, the men's lacrosse team. They've been working on getting a big footprint here in the Columbus area. Obviously, they have the Major League Lacrosse team here as well, and they've been focusing on the Central Ohio area recruiting as well. There
are some great lacrosse programs here in Central Ohio, namely Upper Arlington. The Golden Bears are traditionally very, very good. Ted Wolford, their legendary lacrosse coach, recently retiring. Hargrove, nice cut to the 20, to the 15. And he's still running his way to the 12-yard line. Okay, so let's review here. Runs angry, makes great cuts, shifty, speedy.
He
he checks a lot of boxes.
He should have been stopped in the backfield. Then he should have been stopped probably about 5 or 6 yards further downfield than he was. Further upfield, I should say. He's going to get another break. As J.R. Robinson, now a freshman out of Rochester, New York, in the game in the backfield.
1st and 10. Capital at Muskingum's 13-yard line.
If Hargrove does not get some carries next week and throughout the rest of the season, what we've seen from him today.
2:30 remaining in this game, and now timeout's going to be taken by Capital.
Timeout, Capital.
Wow.
So they take a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. 2:28 remain in the 4th quarter. Capital 39, Muskingum 21. This is Crusaders football on the Capital Sports Network. .228 remaining in the 4th quarter. Capital 39, Muskingum 21. Iskey will hand. It's about the 15-yard line. Let's see here. Running the football for Capital that time. J.R. Robinson, freshman out of Rochester, New York.
Hargrove, 7 carries, 59 yards, and a touchdown. Butler went 8 for 42, and Heater 13 for 99.
It seems like every running back for Capital is going to be getting a carry on this drive, because now checking in will be Jaden Giannettino. He's a 5'7" freshman from Zanesville.
I like it. Just keep cycling them in.
Get him touches.
This is 41 run attempts now for 223 yards and 3 touchdowns as a unit.
Gadzooks running forward.
To the 10, J.R. Robinson.
J.R. Robinson. And now coming back into the game, or coming into the game, I should say, is Antonio Felix.
Yeah, and you had it right, actually. It was Giannettino giving that last carry.
Felix, meanwhile, 5'6" freshman out of Oviedo, Florida. And you know what? While we have a moment, let's hope
the same thing.
let's hope all those people that were affected by Hurricane Irma are okay. I'm sure there are some players, probably on both rosters, that have been affected by that. A lot of good football players come out of the state of Florida. Felix, and he got belted around the 11. No, a fumble. Dropped the ball, and this will be a fumble recovery for a touchdown for Muskingum. The scoop and score by Clavon Birch. So that was a disappointing end to It looked to be an exciting final offensive drive for Capital, but hey, in the meantime, it won't matter all that much as Capital is well on its way to its first win here in 2017. Good play, though, by Birch.
Pretty rare that you see a 9-minute drive end in a defensive touchdown, but that's what you just witnessed.
Well, and that kind of play is more and more emphasized. High school, college, pros across the board. The scoop and score. Not just fall on the fumble, but pick it up and try to run with it for a potential score.
Coach Rogo is trying to call a timeout because you have his personnel out there. Obviously, you're not ready for them to get out there on the field. We're expecting this game to be over, and the fumble obviously leads to a touchdown, and defense probably had to go find their helmets and get the right guys out there.
Stay tuned for the Crusaders post-game show as we will wrap things up, take a look at the final stats, tell you what transpired in this game. Overall, good night for Capital, although the score at the end of the evening would tell you that this was a relatively close game. Capital has really had this game since the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, again, 32 unanswered points from the 13-minute mark of the second quarter till early in the fourth is when Muskingum got their first touchdown of the second half. So you're talking about a half of football where Muskingum did absolutely nothing, and Capital outscored them 32-0 over that stretch. Some of the best football we've seen Capital play, again, in the last 3-4 years.
Austin Alice in on for the point after.
It's a really good kicker that they have as well.
Yes.
Freshman.
Kick is up and good. 45.9 seconds remain in our game. Capital 39, Muskingum 28. 531 yards of total offense on the night for Capital. 305 through the air, 226 on the ground.
Should see an onside kick here too, Charlie. This will be always kind of fun.
Those can be interesting. Those can also be dangerous as well. Now, the reason I say that, I also cover Upper Arlington football here in Columbus. I'm not making this up. Jim Stavridis, who was the starting place kicker for the Golden Bears, broke his collarbone while trying to recover an onside kick for UA.
Well, Hans' team is out there for the Crusaders. I see Iskey on there, Smith, Sanders, Jordan Duncan. So it's a mixture of defensive backs, tight ends, wide receivers pretty much. Corey Heater out there too, Charlie.
I don't know about that, but this is a high bouncer, and it'll be recovered by Capital.
Yeah, that was Heater, I think, who dove on it there.
Well, thank goodness. Now take him off the field.
Yep, that was Corey Heater who recovers that onside kick. It didn't go 10 yards anyway.
I mean, we don't want to treat him like a China doll by any means, but given his injury history, you kind of have to hold your breath for a little bit because he can be such a big asset to Capital's offense. But again, injuries have hampered his production.
And there might be an onside kick down the road where you need to recover it. And
oh, yeah.
Maybe get that unit out there. It's not the worst idea, but like you said, he got down. We should see the good old victory formation now for the Crusaders.
Now, you know another weird thing I saw. So Upper Arlington lost to Westerville South last night. They got blanked 26-0 on homecoming, actually. Saw Westerville South take a knee with 2:38 remaining in the game. They were able to run out the clock. That was the first time I've ever seen something like that. On this night, however, Capital takes a knee. And for the third straight year, Capital ends up being victorious while playing a night game here at Bernlohr Stadium. The offense exploded. 531 yards of total offense for the Crusaders on the evening. And that will end up being the last play of the game. Your final score from Bernlohr Stadium, Capital 39, Muskingum 28. Stay tuned for the Crusaders post-game show. You have been listening to a presentation of Crusaders football here on the Capital Sports Network. welcome into the Crusaders post-game show. Happy result to report from Bexley as Capital triumphs over Muskingum 39-28. And in just a moment, we can turn up our crowd mic as the Crusaders are getting set to sing their fight song here on the near side. You know what? Let's go ahead and listen in. We were also helped out by the Johnstown Marching Band in the background as well. It's just been a fun, exciting night here at Bernlohr Stadium. Okay, Jimmy, let's go ahead and take a look here at what happened in this game. I will begin with the game summary here. If I can get my computer to work, however. Well, before we get to the scoring summary of this game, let's take a look at the team stats. Capital, 531 yards of total offense, 305 through the air, 226 on the ground. Muskingum, meanwhile, 392 yards of offense, 161 through the air, 231 on the ground. Capital, first downs, 29. Muskingum, 19 in that particular category. 10 penalties for 74 yards for Muskingum. 7 penalties for 73 yards for Capital. 2 turnovers for Muskingum. 1 turnover for Capital. And now for individual stats, let's go to Jimmy.
We'll start with the Crusaders, who are victorious tonight. Thomas Wibbler, 18 for 33, 305 yards and 3 touchdowns for him. Charlie mentioned throughout the broadcast, 6 touchdowns for him now on the young season. He could be on for a record-setting season here at Capital. Corey Heater, 13 carries, 99 yards, and a touchdown. Really didn't play much in the fourth quarter at all. It could have been a huge day for him, but we'll take the 99 and a touchdown, 7.6 a carry. Hargrove,